Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is C-Certified BrewHead.
And I am Nathan from Nathan Does Beer.
And welcome to episode 232 of Beer Knowledge, the podcast Adjunct series. Nathaniel, we're technically not going there tonight because the guest is here, but we're kind of dabbling in Yakima Valley action tonight.
Yes, we are. We're talking about Yakima Valley anyways.
We are indeed. And this is the probably the first time we had someone from this company on was 2018, back in the pre-virtual days. And it was fascinating. And it was so long ago that that's nearly 10 years ago. And I don't really remember a lot about it. So I'm really excited to get more information. And hops is something, obviously, that we talk about a lot here, generally speaking. But we don't really ever get any insight aside from the brewers who go to Selection or, deal with someone from the hop companies to actually tell us about it. So we're going to get that first hand.
And this hop company in particular have I feel like risen in prominence, especially on the Ontario and Quebec scene in the last 10 years, like a lot more just kind of overtly advertised collabs and just kind of advertising what beers are using their products a little more prominently. And, you're starting to hear a lot more about trips down there to do hop selection and everything. So that they've risen in prominence for sure in the last 10 years.
That's a really great point. I didn't even consider that. And even when we talked last time, not only did they probably not do the collab so front facing, but also I didn't even know if a lot of these extracts and flowable products existed in 20.
A lot of them probably didn't.
Yeah. So there's so much more to talk about and to get. I feel like you and I have a base knowledge of all of this stuff, but it's not really super deep. And I feel like we can't always, I feel like I confuse the products a lot and don't always really understand which one is which and what does what. So I'm really excited to kind of get that laid out really simple. And we have a phenomenal bunch of beers, most of which have been curated hugely thanks to Jeff Telmy of Town Brewery, as they all use every single beer tonight that we're drinking use products from this company. So I don't know why we keep being so vague and not say the name when people have clicked on the fucking episode, but I don't know why. It's just us. So all that to say, let me get this ready. Folks, there we go. Beautiful. Look at it. It's so much cleaner when you change to this way. Please welcome Alex from Yakima Chief Hops in the building.
Hey.
There he is. Sir.
Welcome.
Look. Alex, great to have you, brother. Thank you for hanging out.
Thank you guys. Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for having me.
Honest pleasure. I've been talking, so you and I was talking to Luke, who is your the Quebec side. Is he your boss? Is Luke your boss, or is he just the Quebec rep and then?
He's like our Canadian leader. He's our Canadian director, basically.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. So everyone who knows who I'm talking about, if you're in Canada and you deal with hubs,
yeah, I mean,
he's everywhere.
He was the only rep for. Oh my God, when did he start? It's not 10 years, so he's probably started in 2017, 2016, something like that. And so and then Sarah obviously took over.
Yes.
And but yeah, a lot of people in the industry know Luke and know Sarah. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. So I'm looking here. The episode we did with Luke and then two gentlemen from Hop Farms it came out September 5th, 2018. So I guess he arranged that during the Foodoo Festival, which we did that in Montreal. And all that to say was we met at the Ontario Craft Brewers Conference in November last year via Jeff Telmy. We were hanging out, and I'd heard about you from half a dozen people. Everyone goes, "No, Alex." I'm like, "No, I don't."
All good things, I hope, right? Yeah.
Oh, always good things, but no one's ever mad at you coming through with that. Sure. So no, it was really great to meet you. And immediately I was like, dude, let's do this. And I think you seemed familiar already. I think maybe had we talked, had someone told you about it?
Yeah. Someone, so I'm relatively new to the Ontario craft scene, frankly. I lived in the prairies for quite a while and then came here about 2-3 years ago. So when I started with YCH, customers were coming to me and they kept saying hey, I heard about, you mentioned flowables. They'd say hey, I heard about this thing that you guys do. I heard it from some podcast. And I kept hearing that over and over and over again. I was like, okay, what podcast is this? And then they mentioned you guys, and I was like, okay, well, I need to listen to this. So it entered my kind of rotation when I'm on the road, and So yeah, no, I've been. You guys will pop up in my kind of playlist on my long drives every once in a while, and that's how I got kind of more familiarized. And then we met at OCB's in November at that
At
like
the ringside
alleyway
place.
bar, right? Yes.
Yes.
Was
Yeah,
great.
it was a collective arts party. Yeah, so that was
That's
like serendipitous. Okay, that's amazing. That makes me really happy to hear that that's where the industry are hearing about these things.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear.
I guess I don't know about you, Nate, but I never really thought that we were sort of like I mean, we're hop nerds because we're Hayes boys, but I didn't really think that people would have taken that from that. So maybe we do dive into it more than maybe we think, which is nice. That's good. We're spreading the gospel of this stuff because you know, it's cool. The industry needs to stay up on it. That's how they're learning about it. Now they're really going to learn tonight. God damn it!
Yeah,
I hope so. Yeah, you guys bring on a lot of like tastemakers, I would say, like people that are kind of pretty cutting edge and forefront. So yeah, that's kind of good. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you for that feedback because that was not even really what I meant, but that's awesome. I love that. So we have once again Uncle Jeff, who essentially is what we call him, I guess. He is the best. Everyone loves him. He's the one who connected us, like we said, and you were telling us, I'm saying this for the context for everybody, that you were excited because we were like, oh, what beers could we drink? Because we want to make sure that they're one, that they're fresh, and two, that they're all got YCH products in them that we could talk about, and actually sort of you could talk us through like the flavors that are being delivered by those products, which isn't something that Nate and I get to experience. We did get it from the brew side, but not from your side, which is exciting. Yeah. There was a beer that was just canned on Thursday, I think last week.
Yeah.
A week ago that used a specific hop, and then we're like, well, maybe Town could. I know they always use your stuff, so Jeff provided. We got 5 beers from Town. We got 3 that also use YCH products from Ontario as well. So we're gonna kind of like go off vibes tonight, and we're gonna really focus on the hop products whenever we're consuming each beer. Which one should we start with?
I just think we should start with the classic. I think we should just start with Square Wheels because it's
hell yeah.
It's like all pellet, all T90, can't go wrong.
Good idea.
Great idea. And this one, fortunately, both you and Jeff provided a bunch of tasty notes that Nate collated like a freaking legend. And Square Wheels is Idaho 7 on the hot side, and Citra and Mosaic in the dry hop. And I remember having this beer the first time. Oh, I should show it. This was the first. We had
your
Town
lighting
on.
is so much better.
We have. It's okay. We got this is a set. So it's a little with cheating. Yeah, I remember this. This is. It's only less than a month old. We did a pod with Jeff. It was January 2018. They'd only been open like 2 months, and we just met. And this was the very first beer he gave us. It's very different now to then, and it was sick because both Nate and I at the time, Idaho 7 was our favorite hop. So we were like, oh man, this is like, I feel like it was really prominent back then. And it kind of like, it's not as, I mean, I guess there's so many other hops right now that,
yeah, it's funny you say that. Idaho 7, like I cover Ontario, I cover Manitoba, and I cover Michigan as well.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
It's really, really interesting. Idaho 7 actually does have a lot of like, it's a lot used on the hot side a lot here. So it doesn't always end up being like advertised in marketing, but like it makes its way into a lot of recipes because it's just like it's one of my favorite hops personally. Yeah.
So this one now, these are like straight up and down, like you said, T90 pallets. So I guess anyone listening to this pod should basically know what T90 is, I imagine. Is there and the dry hop? So the difference in I feel like some of these conversations we might get a little 101 on it just to really break it down. For the hot side, so obviously the dry hop brings out a lot of the aromatics and those fruitier flavors and things like that. What would we expect from a hop like Idaho 7 on the hot side of this beer? Like what would that deliver? And also
so the thing that hot side editions do compared to cold side editions, so by adding it on the hot side, you're generating a lot more opportunity to flash off, like cook off a lot of the compounds that are really, really sensitive in the hop. So it's like your monoterpenes, your cycloterpenes, like basically like big hydrocarbon molecules that don't have a whole bunch of oxygen on them. Okay. So that means your myrcene, your caryophyllene, stuff that tastes kind of like wood, like woody flavors is what you should think. And Idaho has a ton of that in the hop. But it also has a ton of things like linalool and geraniol, things that are super fruity, super floral, and stay in the beer really, really well. So by adding it on the hot side, you blow off all the wood and you just get all the fruit. Whereas some other hops, proportionally, they just have way less fruit and way more wood. So Idaho's kind of really well suited as a whirlpool hop for delivering just like tons of fruit precursors into the beer going into the ferment.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So is it just Idaho that has the woody components? Is that specific? Take a sip.
No. Citra's got a ton of it. Like Citra, if you look at like a sensory chart of Citra, it'll always have just like this huge, like most sort of Truda type lots will just have this huge wood spike on it.
Okay.
And a lot of people kind of go, oh my God, what does that mean? It's kind of like it, even within different hop varieties, the like wood profile can vary. So Citra is more like, I like to say like the lumber aisle at Home Depot. It's like that sweet kind of cedar. It's like really nice. Something like Mosaic is more like petrichor, like blueberry bush, like soil, like outdoor live wood kind of thing. I can get super geeky. We smell stuff for like weeks in Yakima, so we're just like talking about this all day. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. This is going to give us more vocabulary for beer descriptions, because sometimes I think, I don't know about you now, I feel like I get really repetitive. So this is awesome. So so Citra, Mosaic are more that the bushes, whereas like it's a bit more like raw produced wood from the Idaho side.
It can get that way. It's I've actually had some brewers tell me like, oh, I don't like Idaho 7. And I'm like, oh my God, really? And they're like, yeah. When I dry hop with it, it's like, what's the word? They say diesely sometimes, but it's like, pine sol, like that kind of like wood character.
Oh, okay.
And it can get that way if you dry hop too aggressively, or like, some brewers love it, some brewers don't like it. It's one of those applications. A lot of brewers will say like Idaho 7 whirlpool hop.
Interesting. Okay, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Idaho was in the dry hop in this beer back in the day. I think because it was a hotter, meaning a cooler hop.
Yeah, I think they pulled it out. I think it's Citra.
Like
Yeah, it's just Citra Mosaic now.
Yeah, in the dry hop. I wonder if that's why. Like, is it?
Yeah,
maybe it was.
I think it is.
Yeah, and at the time, I think it was in this beer. Well, it was like, I don't remember it being this hazy back in 2018 when I first had it, but I imagine this beer has evolved a lot over time, and maybe as Idaho 7 wasn't delivering those flavor profiles, and something like this is their flagship as well. For people who don't know, it's a 6.2% New England IPA. It's a flagship. It's intended to be like, it's a little like it's hazy, but it's not like murky. No. So that's the point of it. It's the intention is so you can have 2, 3, whatever. You don't have one and feel kind of full or like it's too heavy, and that it's not kind of too overwhelming on the palate. Exactly right. And it's very soft. Like obviously that's skills of Mike the brewer. That you're doing a fantastic job with the actual mouthfeel of the beer and the grains and all that stuff, the profile there. But I think sorry to interrupt, but I feel like taking Idaho 7 out of the dry hop would change the profile pretty dramatically. Because if I think of there's not very many Idaho 7 single hops, but if I'm thinking to Badlands Select Series, when they've added in Idaho 7 the last 2 or 3 years, like those fruity components, Alex, that you were talking about, like one that comes through really, really strongly in that one is like really strong ruby red grapefruit, kind of thing. And so that would be and that's a pretty bold flavor, and that like if that's taken out, that really would change the profile quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I find Idaho's a really good way to get like a real.
Nope.
Uh-oh.
He'll be back. I have faith.
It'll catch up.
Either way,
it'll sound like he's talking really fast for a few seconds.
Oh yeah, it'll do that catch up thing.
You guys lose me? What's going on?
Yeah, we lost you for a second. You just started answering the question, and then you froze.
We're back. Sorry, yeah. I was gonna say like Idaho's just like I feel like I don't want to dunk on Idaho. It's a really good way to get like a nice sweet like tangerine profile into the beer for Whirlpool. Honestly, anytime somebody comes to me with a collab or like they want recipe consultations, I'm just like, listen, slam as much Idaho in the Whirlpool as you can. That's my hack. Like that's how you make a good IPA.
How so?
Always.
Okay, it almost always makes a great beer. Sorry, cut you off.
Yeah.
Why is it the hack? Like, what does Idaho deliver in the Whirlpool specifically, like on the hot side? That makes IPAs better.
It just provides a really, really high quality of flavor with very, very little. It delivers very few flavors that can conflict with later additions, I would say. So it provides like a really sweet citrus note, and almost all the other notes are kind of blown off. And then whatever levers you want to turn on the cold side, it's not going to be fighting uphill to get the profile you want with that background from the Whirlpool.
Okay, is that a more recent thing? Like, are you seeing it a lot? Because that's the first I've heard of Idaho being used on the hot side as a common thing and as a hack. Is this something that it's my
hack?
Is your hack? Well, I love that.
It's that's my hack. It's I was a brewer before I was at YCH, and I was just like, anytime I wanted an IPA, I would always I'd start from probably like an Idaho Whirlpool edition or what was the other one I would always do? I love Sabro. I'm one of those. I love Sabro so much, so I would always sneak some Sabro in the Whirlpool as well, just as like a nice kind of background. But yeah,
does that retain any of the coconut type of thing in the Whirlpool side?
Yeah, it does. I find it's a little bit like, I just liked how it came through. It came through like really sweet and not too like that overripe coconut thing. It was kind of just like a really subtle note.
Gotcha.
Can't go too hard on it though. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah. You get that sunscreen or whatever. Some people don't like. Okay, cool. And I know as you were saying the Whirlpool, it reminded me, and Nate, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure June Hopper used Citra for that same thing. I think Citra's in every one of their beers. I'm pretty sure Colin uses it in the Whirlpool as well for the exact kind of reason that you're talking about for Idaho. And you were saying it's stripping away that wood kind of flavor from the Citra as well. So it kind of like, and they usually would put it on the dry hop too. I'm pretty sure.
Another thing too, Craig, is that it's very rarely advertised what hops are in the Whirlpool. It's one of those things that might happen more than we realize.
I was thinking that as Alex was saying that. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, it's the least sexy part of hops. Like hops being the sexy part of beer, that is the lesser so. But I like it when, I don't know, if I'm writing out little reviews. I know both Nate and I do those little tasting notes. I guess is more what it is. Like, it's cool to know that, and to now that you're already painting this picture of the importance of having that, the Whirlpool hops do provide a solid.
Well, I always love when there's more information.
Yeah, it's easy to understand the beer a bit more. Maybe more data points, and you can just like maybe you're pulling flavors out, and because you're seeing beers with a lot of the same hops all the time, you start to really pick up the flavor notes, and you can get something, and then you're like, oh yeah, that must be that Idaho that's in the Whirlpool, I like that.
It's kind of fun with this. Like I didn't have this. Like I said, I'm somewhat new to Ontario, right? Like relatively, and it's interesting. You guys remember tasting this beer that far back? So, like them doing the Citra Mosaic edition. So there's two things that I know Mike does. Well, one thing I know Mike does that I think helps with, one, this being a core brand, and two, the flavor that they're getting being really, really clean.
Right.
And he does, I think, all of his dry hop additions like very early in fermentation, and that way you just like blow right through the hop creep, like you hit your terminal gravity super fast. It's conditioned, it's ready to go. You're not like waiting on flavor to integrate, and so they can just like flip that. Like for a production brand, that's really important, is just being able to turn and burn as much of that as you can with consistent flavor. And he just gets like a ton of good biotransformation off of that as well. So the flavor integration is like really, really, really good. And the question I want to ask you guys is, do you guys remember this beer, how it tasted 2 years ago versus today? I guess because they started selecting their Citra and Mosaic fall of 2024.
Okay.
So I'm curious if you notice any big differences, because the first thing they said was like, oh my God, the beer is better. they said like, this is completely changed. We're never going back. And I'm curious if you guys notice any differences as fans, I guess.
I don't know if I could say for sure that I remember. We did definitely have it like 2-ish years ago, because it was either on the one that we we did with Jamie and Caitlin, or the one that we did with Jeff and Andrew. We definitely had square wheels on one of them.
That was June 2024 with the one with Jeff and Andrew.
Yeah.
So and you said they did the selection later that year. So if we did have it, which I would say Jeff wouldn't go on a podcast and not drink square wheels. It's funny enough, I found it, as I searched for it, I found that we must have clipped it. I did a clip from that podcast, a 30-second clip talking about the first ever square wheels. So this has been from the beginning, but it definitely wasn't the same thing. Yeah, I don't recall either, Nate. Like if it was as juicy or any of those things. Like it doesn't really. Yeah, here I'm looking at. Sorry, I can't really share the screen here, but it's
he's digging into it.
Oh, it's like it's such a fraction. It's like almost looks like a Hefeweizen or something. That kind of like haze.
Oh, really?
And that's not like dissing. They were new at the time.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking at it's like it was hazy, almost like like that type of thing, or almost like the breweries that maybe aren't haze forward and they make haze and it's kind of like a little bit hazy. One of those type of thing. Kind of almost could be confused for a dry hop pilsner too, but it's a little bit on that. Pale. Yeah, it's just not pale. It's like that orangey type of color. So that's what I remember having. So obviously it's changed a lot, but yeah, I would say if I would hazard a guess, and Nate, I don't know if you would agree, I feel like this is about 4 weeks old to the day, I believe. So it's still very fresh. And I think this one obviously is made to last a lot longer because it's an LCBO brand. So obviously they're going to be sitting somewhere where they don't have as much control. I feel like it's a little brighter, a little more tropical.
Yeah.
It was probably like the basic way to kind of say it, because sometimes I feel like and the body I think is the same. The body's being kept the same, but it's probably and I'm sure those dudes, they're trying it all the time. Jeff said he can drink 1,000 square. He like loves that beer. He loves it so much. So I imagine he's so into the nuances of the beer, and you'd be able to notice those big time.
Yeah, I mean, they should be proud of it. It's a pretty killer beer.
It's fantastic. It's such a great flagship. It's got to be one of the best flagships in the province. It's year round.
I can't answer that honestly. Come on, it's like saying which of the kids is your favorite. I can't do that.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to ask about this was so the Citra Mosaic. We've been focusing mostly on the Idaho there. On the dry hop side, talk to us just about what the Citra and the Mosaic are delivering, and I'm curious mostly around if you can differentiate, because obviously this is your jam here. You might be able to differentiate. I know there's like the blueberry that comes with Mosaic and things like that, which I can get a little bit here. But is there specific flavors that you can say, okay, this is definitely from the Mosaic and this is definitely from the Citra?
I don't know about. It's kind of fun with hops is that like when you start combining them, it's kind of like a like emergent behavior kind of thing where you tack two things together and it makes something like greater than the sum of its parts. I think that their hop selection was always really interesting in that they really do gravitate towards like berry, melon notes, like a lot of not overwhelmingly citrus characters despite it having Citra in there, but like tropical, like a lot of guava. And like obviously this beer is very very citrus, like quite citrus forward, as kind of like all parts considered, but they really are quite intentional about the kinds of Mosaic and Citra they're using to, I think, kind of round out the whole beer to be like quite deep. Like it has a lot of tropical, it has a lot of like kind of that blueberry, it's got some raspberry notes in it, like tons of tropical fruit. Like not too woody, no dankness, like super clean. It's kind of a very good example of like you take those two hops and you can get a million combinations out of it.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty money. And as you were kind of talking, I did a nice little hop burp where it comes out through your nose. And I was like, ooh, it's so good. It was like guava, stone fruit. It's fucking awesome, man.
I had a colleague, the first brewery I ever worked at in Winnipeg was my friend Adam. and he would always say like, if the beer tastes good on the way down, if it tastes good on the way up as well, that's a good beer. That's what he always say. That was the test
with the hop.
Yeah. Of course.
Of
course.
On that, well, I was actually thinking maybe we can get into this because we've got a bunch of beers. So I wanted to ask you about your thing. I wanted just really quickly though, which brewery did you work at in Winnipeg?
Oh yeah, it was One Great City Brewing.
Where was that?
Oh yeah.
One Great OGC, One Great City Brewing. It's right at, what is that? Keniston and Portage, right up near the mall.
Okay.
We were just like a 2,000 hect per year, big old restaurant, some distro. I joined right when COVID started. I was in grad school before that, and I basically I was doing a bacteriology degree, I was doing a doctorate, and I said, I hate this. Give me a master's to get me out of here. And I had developed a home brewing just whole system at home with my roommate, and got a brewing job after my master's, and was at OGC. 3 months later, COVID happens, and I basically had to, we couldn't be in the same room together, me and Scott, the brewmaster, and Walter, the packaging guy, or else the whole business would collapse because we couldn't cover everything. Right. So I was I had to solo the brew house for a year with knowing nothing. So I just, I had to solo 2,000 hects of beer with not knowing a single thing. Crash course. It was great.
Damn, that's a good way to do it. Do you remember the only one I went to Winnipeg in 2017 and we interviewed, I think was it called Peg or Peg City Brewery?
Oh, Peg Brewing. Yeah.
Peg, yeah. I think there was the dude, his name was Scott, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's the same Scott.
That's Scott Sawatsky. He's the head brewer at Trans Canada now. He's a super good guy. Okay. Awesome guy. Yeah.
Peg.
I'm
trying to find
Jeff, one of the brewers, opened a malting company out there. So if you're looking for some craft malt, Scythe Malting.
Oh, damn.
There are some guys. Yeah.
Shout them out. That's awesome. Peg Beer Co. It looks like. Okay.
Yeah. Peg Beer Co.
Yeah. Okay. And it's turned into something else now. Is it it's not it starts with S.
Non-such.
Oh, it's non-such.
That location is non-such, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
You're also a great spot. They're phenomenal.
Yeah, we've heard good things about them.
Yeah, I've heard good. Yeah, well, speaking to, I believe his name's Trevor. I think he's someone who works there. He's got a nice Instagram profile. Yeah, he's out. Presence is what I'm looking for. Yeah, he's out there killing it. Winnipeg seems to be a pretty sick scene. There's a bunch of cool shit. There was, Kilter.
There's the Kilters out there.
Kilter's fire, good. And I remember I went in 2013 because I did music and we toured out there. And my friend gave me a bunch of. You might know him. His name's Colin Enquist, I believe, and he worked in beer. He worked at Pegs. That's how I got the pod.
Colin Enquist.
Yeah,
I don't remember the name.
No, okay, maybe he was a little earlier in it. He put me on to what's the one that's like the OG brewery. Is something called Half Pints. So I went.
Oh yeah, I've had some stuff from them. There was a guy who I knew early on in my beer Instagram days who I traded with every now and then, who sent me some stuff.
Was that Aki?
Yes, that's the one. Okay, sorry, his name was escaping me.
Yeah, because I came up in my Facebook memories the other day because it was just this Winnipeg dude who used to trade with all of us out. I was in Montreal at the time, and Nate out there, so we're able to hook up different stuff. So he put us onto Kilter, and they were fire, but. Yeah, I remember the first time we did this, I was doing the music tour, and Colin was there, and I had the beer review. They did this before the pod, this 2013, and he introduced me to the owner of Half Pints. And then she's like, "Oh, what's the beer review thing?" I'm like, "Oh, it's called Beer and Other Shit." She's like, "Oh." I never had someone so disappointed, and it kind of made, I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sorry." You got to try and play it off.
You mentioned, Half Pints was the OG. It was called Codename Ghost was the IPA.
Dude, I had it in 2017. Yeah. That was what I was about to bring up.
That was the first NEPA in that city. It's crazy.
Really?
Those guys,
OG brewer
again. It was good. It was great.
Yeah, they had that tiny little brew pub. It was a real small little tap room. I remember that was specifically went for that beer. I heard that beer was out, and because it's 2017 there, even in Ontario, in Quebec, there was nothing really. But aside from maybe fucking Nord-Est from Boreal was around and Canada, but they were impossible to get. Ontario would be Bellwoods at the time, and I guess Juicin from Sawdust City and Barncat, which are also impossible to get. So it was really hard to get local stuff. So I was super excited to try that out there. Wow, it's funny you mentioned that because I couldn't remember the name of the beer.
I also had
shout out Winnipeg.
Yeah, no kidding. I also had one beer from One Great City. This is going back like maybe 6-7 years. A friend of mine who was there for a work trip flew a growler back and then managed to keep it intact. I don't remember for the life of me what the beer was or even the style, but I remember enjoying it.
Oh god, yeah, we had a lot of fun.
That's
It
awesome.
was the first flagship IPA I ever brewed was called, and coming out of like a science program,
Mad
was called
Scientist?
Mad Scientist IPA. That's right. Yeah,
I'm looking at it.
There
right
you
now.
go.
yeah, that was the one. Yeah, and it was
Cool branding.
Eldorado Equinaut was the hop bill, and
Equinox. That's a classic. That's a throwback.
dude, I love me some Equinaut.
Yeah.
Divisive. That hop is like love her to hate her.
Yeah.
Mm.
I remember when we did same year, 2017, we did this thing in Vermont where we just we used to travel around and do the pods, and we did the one with Fiddlehead. And when we left, he gave us some beers and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, do you want a packet of this?" This is when lupulin powder was in powder form.
Oh,
And I learned like 6 months ago that it's not in powder form anymore, that it's in pellets. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And he gave us a packet of it, and because we were homebrewing a little bit with my original co-host Scott, he had the setup, so we would do homebrews occasionally. We were so psyched that we had that, and then we did the first ever collab, which was for my brother's album release party with Lalo, who are now closed in Toronto, and I was sort of like really a little bit like hesitant to give him the loot because I was like, oh, it's all we got, and it's like hard to get or whatever. And he was like, this is Equinox, dude. Like, I don't know if this is even going to work for a New England IPA. And I was like, oh, damn it, really? I didn't even look what style it was. I was just happy that it was the lupulin powder, because that was like if a beer had lupulin powder in 2017.
Yeah. No, because that was the earliest version of cryo, right? Like that's going way back. Like
and apparently just floated. That's why they started pelletizing it, which makes sense. It's fucking powder. If it doesn't dissolve, what's it gonna do?
I never got to use that stuff, and I'm not disappointed I never did, because that sounds horrible. That sounds so bad.
I imagine the cleaning is a nightmare.
Oh my god!
Because imagine it being everything.
You got the big rotary fans on the top of the brewery, just like blowing it all over the place as you're trying to dump it in. I can't even imagine. It sounds horrible. The GMP, your QA person is going to kill you. Are you kidding me?
You'd be over. Oh, it'd be over. I love it. I know we went on a bit of a tangent there.
Yeah, next beer.
All right. What are you thinking?
I would love to do. Let's do the high grade.
High grade, great choice.
You got it.
The high grade.
One of local faves here.
I love me some high grade.
I managed to. Obviously, I lived like 20 minutes from Fairweather, but I was like, I'm at the LCBO anyway to get some of the other stuff. Let me grab it. This was like from January. I can't tell. It's a little bit like it's like only a couple weeks old, which is awesome.
Oh yeah,
Mine's from Jan 15th.
Oh, that's what mine must be too. Mine's like really the thing's really like messy, but yeah. Okay, sick. So we got the same batch. That's amazing.
Because it's messy because they're selling it so fast. That's why they don't have time to put the date codes on it.
Oh, makes complete sense. It's an Ontario classic. This beer has become like a beast, I think, for Fairweather. It's killing it in LCBOs, but it's like if you're going to go to a restaurant here, like I dare you to find a restaurant that doesn't stock high grade.
Yeah.
It's so good. Now this would be your notes here, Alex. That we'll pull up.
Sure.
Unless you already know on top of your head, you probably do. Or don't.
No, I do. Yeah. So these guys are really. I really appreciate Fairweather because they were quite forward thinking when it came to like approaching IPA, like their IPA production, and they were pretty early to adopt the flowable products. So this is like the Whirlpool is like almost entirely flowables on this beer. It's just like a ton of these guys kind of put me onto my hack now. I call it my hack, but it's really theirs. Is like tons of Idaho 7 Dynaboost and Whirlpool. So Dynaboost is our like liquid flowable Whirlpool product, right? So it comes in like 1 kilo jug that replaces 10 kilos of T90 pellets, which is kind of crazy. And they like it's just tons and tons of flavor, super concentrated, no losses, and so you can get loads of flavor in the Whirlpool with very little downside. And then the dry hop I think is Mosaic Cryo, and I think just Citra I think as well.
Correct. Exactly right. Yeah, Idaho 7 Dynaboost, Citra, Simcoe, Cryo, Mosaic.
Simcoe, that's right. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yep. Money.
Super balanced, light drinking, like very flavorful. one of the kind of neat features of Dynaboost too is cheers.
Get that in you.
Cheers.
Chatty.
It's a podcast. How dare you talk?
One of the neat features of Dynaboost is like proportional to, like, compared to pellets, it has proportionally less alpha than pellets. So what does that mean? It means that if you're 10 kilos of pellets, you cut that out, you put 1 kilo Dynaboost in, you're going to get roughly like half the BUs out of it. So your bitterness is going to drop by anywhere between 40 and 60%.
Okay.
And these guys can, like, by doing what they're doing, you can just get like super juicy, like no bitterness in the beer, tons of hop flavor, very, very drinkable. It's great.
Now, it probably seems like this might be a good time to talk, since we're talking about the flowables. Mate, let's start with what is a flowable or a hop extract, or what is it? Yeah. And I mean, you can get as sciencey as you feel people can handle.
Sure.
How do you do it? What's the process? What's the
Oh man, it's the coolest thing. I honestly, it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Okay, so basically, like, obviously everyone knows hop cones. It looks like a little pine cone. There's very soft little leaves. There's oil inside of that, and they dry the cones. The cones are now ready to be turned into pellets or whatever.
Okay.
So how do you get the oil out in a way, like, you don't want to use you don't want to use like ethanol or something, right? Because that's going to strip out, all kinds of like phenols and all kinds of other stuff, and then you have to work on getting the ethanol out of there. Oh, so much work.
Right. So
what we do is we use something called supercritical carbon dioxide. So what does that mean? So like water is a good example of this premise, where if you increase the pressure on water, eventually it'll turn into ice, right? If you increase the temperature on water, eventually it'll turn into steam. So you can imagine a graph, right? Temperature, pressure. If you increase the pressure, it's like, okay, we're going this way. It's like, oh, now it's ice. You increase the temperature, oh, now it's steam. There's a point on that graph. There's the gas, liquid, solid. There's a point on that graph where it's kind of all three.
Okay.
It's called a supercritical fluid. It has the density of a gas relatively, and the ability to strip stuff out of the solvating power, the ability to strip stuff out of something, of a liquid, right? So by using supercritical carbon dioxide, we can get more oil out of the cone with less CO2 input and using less temperature, because temperature would harm the hops too, right? So basically what we do is you take I think it's like 600 pounds per batch. We take like T9 pellets, you feed that into what looks like a big French press.
Okay.
And then you pack that at like, I think it's like 30,000 PSI.
Damn.
And heat it to like 90 degrees-ish, like 80, 90 degrees for a very short period. And the hops go in green and they come out gray. Like there is nothing left. And as you're running the CO2 through the system, it's going into these collectors. Once you drop the pressure on the collectors, all the CO2 just evaporates off and you're just left with oil, right?
Okay.
It's kind of how that process works. Hopefully I didn't get too sciencey there.
No.
I love how excited you got.
It's really cool.
I was wondering, and I might have missed what you were saying there. I might have part of it, but when you put them into the big French press and you heat it to 80 or 90 degrees, is there like a liquid to absorb the green, I guess, and all the stuff out of the hops? Like what's the extraction? Or the pressure itself?
Yeah. So like it's under pressure, and then we put carbon dioxide into this cylinder, right?
Right.
And it's all under just immense pressure to the point where the CO2 becomes that supercritical fluid. It becomes kind of like a gas. And you can imagine it's going in through the top. It's going through all the hop cones in the stack, and then it's coming out through the bottom into the collecting tank, right?
And it becomes a liquid at that point.
Yeah. So now at this point, the oil is now leaving with the liquid CO2. Like all the oil is coming out of the pellets.
Gotcha.
And it goes into that collection tank. We slowly, because otherwise it's a bomb, drop the pressure on the collection tank until all the CO2 is gone, which we recapture. And we now just have like delicious hop oil. And that's Hyperboost, which is our dry hop product, which is our dry hop flowable. And then to make Dynaboost, which is the Whirlpool product, we stream off alpha and beta acids to make like a more appropriate Whirlpool product.
Okay, so it's the Dynaboost has more alpha and beta or less?
Yes, more.
So you take a portion of that, or like maybe you split it in half, and half of it's Dyna, half of it's Hyperboost, and the specific elements of that. Now, is that correct? Then so you're taking those parts out, and then does the Hyperboost have those same parts, or are you taking it from that and kind of just splitting it in two?
Yeah, that's a great question. So basically, like Hyperboost is the feedstock. Everything is Hyperboost.
Okay.
We make Hyperboost first. All the alpha and the beta and like all the waxes, like all the heavy stuff, that's like there's two streams. Hyperboost goes one way, all the alpha and beta goes the other way. We can just sell Hyperboost. To make Dynaboost, we just take a little bit of the beta and we just kind of reblend it in to make a third product, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we can, and then we can still sell the alpha and the beta CO2 extract as like generic bittering extract, which the stuff that comes like in a tin can that you use just for kettle bittering.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sick. What a cool process you are. I see why you're right to be excited about that. That's fucking cool.
The reason I'm so jazzed about it is the first time I did that tour, and it's like it looks like a bunch of pipes. Like once you start learning about how it works, it's really really brilliant. When you first look at it, it's kind of just like a bunch of pipes, right? But the facility manager, he has been working for YCH for I think 23 years. And him and his brother, so he's the extract facility manager. Mm-hmm. His brother is the pellet plant facility manager. They both started when they were 18 as floor sweepers, right?
Nice.
And they are now the managers of our entire production line. These guys, cool. They didn't go to college. They didn't they don't have an engineering degree or anything crazy. They literally started from teenagers sweeping the floor, learning literally everything. And you talk to these guys, they know if something sounds off in that building, they know what's wrong. It's the most incredible thing. I have so much respect for those guys, and every time I see them, I learn so much from them. It's awesome.
They're part of the furniture type shit. I like that.
Yeah, they're part of it's like a family down there. It's great.
That's sick, man. Yeah, I keep hearing about it. I'd love to. I haven't been out that way. I'm very keen to see it all. That's fun. Okay. So we've got that. Okay, so this beer is awesome. Such a fantastic. We're doing back to. It's actually really great choices for the first two, back to back flagships.
Yeah.
That are really, and also sorry, we didn't even say the beer is 6.2 as well. Oh wow, both 6.2% hazy flagship IPAs at year round, available everywhere. LCBOs is very easy to find. It's this
one's fun because it's Square Wheels is Idaho Citra Mosaic. This one has some Simcoe in it, and I'm you can kind of taste it. It's kind of it's fun that we did this one next because it does have a more cedar element to it, which is really nice.
I can get that.
I'm going to be looking for these wood flavor characteristics from now on.
Yeah.
I
never really thought much about it, to be honest. And the way you're describing it, I'm yeah, fuck, that's pretty cool. It's almost because I guess maybe we're so, what's the word? I was about to say brainwashed, not really, but just all we think about when you think about hops in New England IPAs are the fruit elements primarily. Maybe a bit of dankness, pine, resin, whatever, if it's a Westie or something. But I'm not really thinking about any sort of cedar, pine. Pine, but other types of wood elements in the hops. Yeah, it's fun. I love it. I guess
it generates balance, right?
Yeah, I guess that's all those memes. Yeah, have you guys seen those memes where people are hey, this is what it's like drinking an IPA, and they bite an orange. It's got the rind on it, and then lick a tree. Yeah, I'm that's offensive. First of all, but
I take that personally. Yeah.
I really do. Yeah, you should take it personally. Fuck, man, that's dissing your whole industry. So, okay, we've got that, but let's just do a quick pivot let's get your story in. I know you started to touch on the Winnipeg thing, but I just wanted to it doesn't have to be crazy long, but just so people obviously know your shit, and it's very very clear from the time we've been talking. But I'd love to just basically hear how did you discover craft beer? How did you get into the industry, which you kind of talked about there, and then sort of how did you end up at YCH?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll try to keep it short because I've had a lot of time to reflect on this story, right? So
no problem.
Basically I'm from Ontario. Like I grew up in Newmarket. Like I'm from the burbs here, and moved out when I was 17. Went to undergrad for medical science because I wanted to be a doctor, like every other 17-year-old. And my grades were like just not quite good enough, right? So I went to grad school, right? So I wanted to be I watched the movie Pandemic when it came out, and I wanted to be like the Ebola guy. So I literally like that was the plan. So the reason I went to Winnipeg for grad school was the federal disease lab is there, which is where we do the Ebola research, right? And so like a guy on my grad committee literally was like the Ebola researcher, and that was the plan, right? And I was doing a master's. Then I went to a PhD program, and I was like, wow, I this is not for me. This is not a good idea. And I was far in enough that I could get a master's out of it. And my roommate at the time, we started homebrewing. First, it was mead because we could get delicious like local honey, and then we started making like choke cherry wine from like fruit we would pick when camping and stuff. And then I went to Dublin with my brother, and that's kind of where the beer thing starts. Gotcha. So we're visiting Guinness, we're in line, you wait in line forever, and they have these screens just cycling through beer facts, right? Like this chemical is involved in blah, this yeast strain is involved in blah. And me, a microbiologist, I hear strain, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to learn about this. So I come back to Winnipeg and I start making beer, right? And the first batch does not turn out terrible, amazing. And I decide to like start looking for jobs in a brewery because a brewery is just a big bioreactor, and I know how to do that. So get a job in a brewery after I graduate. COVID happens immediately. And at OGC, like we are all best friends now because we hang out 24/7. And it was a very like experimental place to work. Like we really were, we had a lot of latitude to play around with ingredients, and a lot of latitude to like really dial in a lot of processes because it was such a challenging time for a brewery. It's like you had to figure out packaging, you had to figure out shelf life, you had to figure out hop creep, haze stability, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So we all really learned a lot there. And then after a couple of years, I was there until 2023, moved back to Ontario. I went to Old Flame Brewing.
Nice. Richard.
And then I was looking at my career and I was like, okay, I need to learn how to work for like the big dogs, right? Because like Adam at Old Flame is like the master, but like Adam's not going anywhere. Adam's the man. So I was like, okay, I need to learn how to like be Adam is basically what my thought was. Right. And so I went to Brunswick for a very brief period of time, which is like a big contract brewery in Toronto, incredibly talented team and like cutting edge facility. And it was the moment, like when I was looking for jobs and I applied to Brunswick and I got the job, I had applied to ICH already. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get this job. There's no way. It's Yakima Chief. It's the hop company. They'd be crazy. And apparently I did something, apparently I was charming. So it all worked out. I got a call back and, I went to Canadian Beer Cup in Hamilton 2 years ago and met Luke and Sarah and everybody, and went to Yakima for my first time in July of that year for Hop and Brew School, which is like a conference we put on at the end of August, and then Harvest. And it's just been a whirlwind since, man. Like I've been to, I've hiked Mount Hood now and, travel all over Canada, and I've met all these people. Like just, I've made so many friends through this industry too, which I'm very grateful for. It's been a ride. It's been quite a ride. I can talk on like why I love ingredients and all that stuff, and
go for it. It's a great story. I love that. I love just a real quick aside. I love that, and you said it in the beginning. I thought it was the coolest shit was the fact that you were a brewer. It gives like the customers, meaning the breweries, like immediate trust. Like, oh, this dude's not just some salesman trying to get some, you wouldn't suggest. I feel like you would personally be like offended if like, you would have never steer them wrong, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because
I try,
well, to the best of your ability, you actually know, and you know how things can react, and you've done it in a professional capacity, so you can speak to them on a level. You can walk in there, you know what does what type of thing for the most part. So I feel like that's going to be a real asset. I imagine that could be part of why they did hire you, because I don't imagine most people who are doing that job that you're doing have actually made, been in that brewer position. It kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, we do hire a lot of brewers for our sales reps. It's like brewers or beer salespeople has been a couple. Almost everybody's been a home brewer at one point, which is kind of the
maybe the attraction in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny. Like I was kind of reflecting on this a couple of years ago when I started at YCH. Like, why do I and at OGC we played around with ingredients all the time. Like we really tried to find niche things to make beer with, like all kinds of stuff, right? And I was like, why do I gravitate towards that? And the only English TV channel my grandparents had on when I was growing up was the Food Network.
Okay.
And this was like the early 2000s, right? So Iron Chef was on all the time. And that show, as a kid growing up, it made me, I think it helped me appreciate that, like, in the hands of somebody talented with appreciation for what they're working with, you can make gold out of anything, right? And brewing is, especially like North American, the brewing culture in North America, where, it was really born of like, how do we make what we want out of what we have? I feel like that's why I gravitated towards brewing as an industry. Like, you can kind of, it's the alchemy of it. You can make something delicious out of like cereal, water, and plants, like and you know what I mean? Like it's just such an alchemical process if you really kind of get kind of sentimental about it.
Totally. That's dope. That's really cool that I guess it was food introduced you to that, and then you get obsessed with it, and here you are. Multiple.
I mean, we're Greek. We're obsessed with food. Come on, like
yeah. Melbourne has I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and we have the second most Greeks in the world outside of Athens. So we tons of close friends that were Greek all the time. I used to go to my mate's thing. You'd have the what's it called? The pig on the spit.
And Easter buddy.
Yeah, the Easter and stuff, and his birthday was Christmas Day, so we usually do something like that, and they'd have like the souvlaki. Well, in Australia we call it souvlaki. Here, I guess it's shawarma, but like
no, hold on, now it's souvlaki. Let's be it's souvlaki.
Okay. Thank you, because souvlaki here is meat on a stick. I'm like, no, it's the thing with the bread, the bread thing.
All right, I got to talk to your friend. Connect me with your friend.
I'll connect you with the city of they have souvlaki places. So it says like souvlaki, and you go there, and it's like a naan, the fucking whatever the bread.
You're talking about like souvlaki in a bun. Yeah, that's a thing. Sorry, yes.
It's not a bun. It's like a roti meets a naan bread. Like it's like thick.
Yeah, it's like a pita bread kind of thing.
Pita bread. That's a better. Sorry, I don't know why I can't say that. Pita bread, and you got like the Greek yogurt shit and the lettuce and onion, and then you cut the meat off the spinning thing. So it's kind of like
food.
It's phenomenal. Yeah, it's a bit. But here is like because I was like, oh, you're getting souvlaki. I'm like, no, it's called shawarma. I'm like, oh, okay. And then you go to those same restaurants and they have souvlaki, and it's like a little wooden stick with some meat on it. I was like, okay, this is too much. Everything's like backwards. I don't understand. So maybe
there's nuance.
So are people there crazy? I don't know why. It's just like the whole city.
No. There's different ways to explain it and stuff. Like,
okay. Is it like the Greek shawarma then? Okay, they're not crazy. Okay, good. Okay, beautiful. Amazing. Thank you for the story. This is great. I know we're going to keep yapping, so I guess we should probably just keep pushing through these beers.
Yes, we should keep it moving.
What I was thinking was, now we've done 2 haze. Should we? Because if we do 2 haze, like a Westie, couple haze, Westie.
It's gonna have to be like 2 Westie, 3 Westie, 3.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
No, sorry, that's not right. It's going to be 2 Westie, 2 Westie, 2. Yeah,
that's what I thought. So just every second one. It's okay. You're the math guy too. Fuck you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I fucked that up.
It's okay. We love
you. Take my degree away.
I'm calling the university. The town or the sawdust, either one.
Let's do better days, then we'll do sawdust afterwards.
Fantastic. Fuck, all these beers are so good. Man,
these are just great breweries. Like that we kind of. The brewing scene in Ontario is really, really excellent in my opinion.
It's one of the best in the world.
It absolutely
is. Truly believe it's one of the best.
We're so lucky here.
When I feel like when I noticed that the most, because pre-COVID, I was traveling a pretty decent amount. Oh, sorry, we're doing better days. The West Coast.
Yes, sir.
For people who are doing who are listening on audio and not watching. traveling a lot, and then during COVID, all of a sudden, so I was drinking beer from all over. We would, I lived in Montreal for 10 years, so we go to Vermont all the time, whatever. And I found that the second that I wasn't able to drink, I was only drinking Quebec and Ontario beer. I'm like, oh, I'm not lacking at all. This is out of control. I feel like we're only gotten better and better and better. When I say we, I always think of Ontario and Quebec. I just feel like both scenes. I'd put them up against anywhere. I honestly really would, like anywhere in Canada, anywhere in the States.
To also add like a footnote to that, like from 2020 on, Ontario and Quebec like really upped their game really fast.
Yes.
It kind of really like leapfrogged forward.
Yes.
In those couple of years from like 2020 to 2022 ish.
Do you think it's because they just had more time to kind of like refine things and research, and like as opposed to being run off their feet every day?
It's hard to say. I mean, that might have had something to do with it.
Yeah, because both of them did that. I don't know if you I guess you weren't here at that time, Alex, but
yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, my experience out west was like when COVID happened, we like everyone got a packaging line all of a sudden. That's the first thing that happened.
Yeah.
Like,
that happened a lot.
Didn't have much of a choice.
If you had a canning line, it paid for itself in 6 months, right? So
yeah.
That was the first thing everyone did. And with that, I guess, and then Ontario, like I think Ontario, like with all the sales channels opening up, like grocery stores and you have also obviously like
shops.
Like yeah, like all the convenience stores.
Yeah.
I think a lot of breweries just once you start selling beer, outside of the premises of your building,
mm-hmm.
you have to get so like you have to dial your stuff in to be getting stuff out there consistently. And people stepped up to the plate. Like people really leaned into it and didn't cut any corners. There's a lot of like Ontario is kind of, I think, unique in that there's a lot of very, very good beer out there. Whereas in Canada, for the most part, that's absolutely true. Like most of the stuff that's out in distribution is quite fresh and quite good for the most part. I will say down in the States, they have a whole distribution system down there, and it's just not the case down there.
It's really hard to find good fresh. Even from I'm going to Buffalo tomorrow. I go see all the Vermont stuff. It's minimum 6 to 8 weeks old. Everything. And I'm just like, it's not fair. I can't buy it because it's going to cost me out the ass for a beer that's not what the brewers intended it to be. And I know if I went to the brewery and had it a week or two old, it'd be incredible. But being on the back of a truck, and then sometimes they're on a warm shelf, depends on where you go.
Yeah,
it's just it's really unfortunate. We're definitely luckier here with that.
Yeah,
now all the LCBOs have the walk-ins too, almost all of them.
Yeah, that's a huge benefit, man. And I think a huge credit to like the whole Niagara College team. Like,
cheers. Sorry, boys. Sip that. Yeah, Niagara College are doing some. Oh, this is great. Fuck, this is great.
Yeah, this beer's nice.
They're doing some great work, the Niagara College folks, and they're really like.
Yeah, I think that just raised there was a huge cohort that came out of that college in like, I'm estimating, but like 2018, 2019 kind of time period, and they cut their teeth at like a lot of the big production breweries all over Ontario, and then that knowledge just kind of like disseminated through the industry.
Nice. And
there's like a very high level of knowledge in the Ontario craft scene, which I think has led to the quality being really, really good.
And I think people have a level, they don't have time for bullshit beer. I feel like we're very fortunate that you can go to the LCBO, and now we do have grocery and convenience and these independent bottle shops and things like that, which opened it up. When I lived here, like before I lived here, that was ages ago. When I used to go, I lived in Quebec, you go to anywhere, you can get pretty decent beer, lots of specialty beer stores, even supermarkets had pretty good stuff like 10, 15, 20 years ago. Whereas Ontario, like you come here, I'm like, you got to go to the brewery or the LCBO. I'm like, it was always so annoying to get stuff here. And now it's everywhere, which is awesome. But I fucking lost it. I guess I'm just trying to say that. Being able to buy like someone like Town, like Square Wheels or Fairweather High Grade, year round, fresh, easy, like at almost every LCBO in the province is absolutely insane. Like it's so good. It's so fantastic. We're so lucky, you know, and that is for maybe a little bit the less adventurous people that don't want to go to the breweries themselves and you just want to go LCBO. You got all the options in the world there. It's very good, man. Like it just keeps getting better. You're getting like there's always LCBO brands that were like dominating there that were offering great beers for great prices, like Great Lakes or Collective Arts or Nickelbrook or something like that. And then you started getting the more tastemakers, kind of as you put it earlier, or like the hype kids, like Town, Blood Brothers, Bellwoods, Burdock, you know, Rouge River, almost like everybody. There's so many great ones that are now. I mean, Fairweather weren't always there either. Just like really phenomenal breweries that are like it's so good. Like the beer consumer, even if you think about it from like a gateway, which is something we talk about here a lot. So I think gateway beers and gateway breweries are very important because it's bringing new people into beer without scaring them, without being pretentious or a dick about anything. But those being the consumer who isn't really ready or doesn't really want to go to breweries and just wants to drink beer and just get it from the LCBO, they can get some of the best breweries in the province there now, fresh, and it changes all the time. They have seasonals, like, you know, all the things. It's all different. It's just it's a wonderful time. I think it's just really you know, it's a scary time because a lot of closing, but I think it's also really cool for the consumer. They just got so many choices that aren't mid. They're like genuinely top tier choices at LCBOs. I think it's incredible.
It's interesting. Like you brought up like Collective and Nickelbrook and like Amsterdam, like those kind of like large kind of more mature brands, right? And it's kind of interesting. Like they really like rising tide lifts all ships, right? Like those breweries kind of they demonstrated like there's a market, right? They were very early adopters. They built incredible businesses like very, very early in the trend of craft beer, and they showed the distributor they showed the LCBO like there is a market, and people flock to them, right? And they've had success because of that, and because of those big companies. Now they're big, but like because of them, now there's kind of an expectation of space for all these other brands to have a space available, which like. Okay, like by de facto, it's like made competition for the original ones, right? Of course, but it's given the consumer like so much choice through an extremely convenient venue, which is phenomenal for the consumer, right? It's I think it's you hear a lot of brewers kind of they don't complain about the LCBO, but they're like, we only have one, you know, one option, right?
Right.
But it's like. And if you go to somewhere where you have like I always go to the States as an example, but like it is not good for craft with the distribution, like the distributors down there right now. The LCBO being pretty reliable is kind of nice, from what I've gathered, and
it's easy to find. Whereas if you go to the States, you've got to kind of dig around, Google, ask people, post on Reddit to try and find the spots. It took me a while to find my spots in Buffalo. I usually go once a month, and now I've got. I don't know, 2, 3, 4, not too many, but I know what I can get where. I got like my fave spot, and then I got some other spots that I go and get certain things from, and then I'm looking
and you've now got that established because you go there like once a month. But as you know from from someone who used to travel broader like to other places more regularly, it's the kind of thing of when you go into a new city. As a beer drinker, you know, you do a lot of research ahead of time to be like, you know, what are the best bottle shops in the in the city, and you're like looking for, you're looking for corroborating opinions to make sure that you've got the actual best one and not one that just has like one high rating on, like on some travel site or some shit like that. Like you actually do need to do quite a bit of research to make sure that you can that you don't waste your time and find the best spots when you're not familiar with the city.
It's so true,
but like it is one of those things though that like the LCBO is a little bit more consistent. It is like it's obvious. There's obviously cases where some shops are better than others. Some of them have beer ambassadors who are really, really committed to to the craft and know the local sales reps really well, have a good relationship with them, make sure they're getting their stuff fresh, like all of those things. Like some stores put more into their beer stock than others, but by and large, it's pretty consistent.
Oh, meeting the beer captains at LCBO was the most fun thing to do as a brewer. Like getting to be involved in that was so fun. That's I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Could you influence it at all, or is it because I feel like if they're good, I didn't know they were called beer captains. That's hilarious in a good way. That's right.
Yeah.
But like, could you like go on?
Kinda. You could like if you'd bring around the brewery and they would come and taste stuff in tank, and then they would go like, "Oh man, if you had this in cans, I'd buy a pallet." And I'd be like, "Well, I guess we're making a pallet of it."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The ones that are switched on changed the game. There's this dude. My brother lives near the one at Queen and Coxwell, and I used to trade with the manager there. So I'd bring stuff from Quebec, and he'd get me like Bellwoods and stuff that were like annoying to get, like when Milkshark was popping and everything. And I'd bring him like Boreal Nord-Est and some whatever I could get him from Quebec. But I finally went to that store, and it's insane. I couldn't believe it. Like, it's so thoughtful. Like, every single part of it, the beer section I feel like just kept going. All of the different SKUs from so many different breweries. It was like, you could go in there and just if you were coming from out of province, out of country, and you're visiting, like, go to that store. If you couldn't be bothered going to any breweries, just fucking go there, man. You'd be set. You'd be good. You get a really decent idea of what's going on, like in Ontario, in one place that's actual fire. It's not like the mid stuff, and like sometimes in the States you mentioned like you go to a grocery store. The grocery stores like Wegmans in Western New York are pretty sweet. Like they got cool shit, zero gravity. Like they'll have other half there. They have other half fridges now. Other half are really gone crazy. I love other half. Yeah, they're amazing. They'll have the fridges in there though. It's so sick. Everything is forced 4-packs, which I hate, but either way, the selection is quite thoughtful. But there are other places where you go and you're like, it's just the not quite macros, but the no shade, but like Voodoo Ranger and stuff like that. Like
big regionals.
Big regional, that's a great way to put it. Which is fine, but I would prefer to drink a little more local when I'm going down there. So it is, we're in a super fortunate position here. I do feel we kind of skipped over talking about this beer though.
Let's talk about Simcoe because
I love Simcoe. I love Simcoe so much. I was talking about like, how I started YCH. I literally in my interview, I was like, guys, I am 30 minutes from Lake Simcoe. This has to happen. There's no way. So yeah, it's the Simcoe hop is named after like Simcoe County, Ontario. Like literally, that's what it's named after.
No way.
It's a beautiful hop, man. And yeah, this beer is Simcoe hot side and Simcoe Citra dry hop.
Yes. Which is perfect for a Westie.
Yeah, it's almost like definitionally part of a Westie at this point.
Yeah. Most, if not all, Westies do have Simcoe, which really delivers. If I'm not mistaken, Simcoe's very like dank citrus forward, or citrus period. Is that?
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Simcoe's changed so much, man. It's such a part of the reason I love it is that I think I've started to become. I don't want to say biased in what hops are my favorite, but like the hops that are my favorite are the ones that are really interesting to select on the table because you can smell all the different kind of shades of it. Like Citra is mostly pretty consistent. It's like it has literally been bred to be consistent to grow. Whereas Simcoe, like it can be anywhere from like raspberries, like very, very sweet raspberry to like tropical, like very tropical mango with a little bit of like very fresh spearmint pine to like dank wood grapefruit. Like it can be like the gamut, right? And
I didn't know that.
I wish I could remember what town Simcoe smelled like when they selected it, but it was like it was not overly raspberry forward, but it had a very nice like sweet kind of pine character to it that wasn't overwhelming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Simcoe Citra. In the dry, okay. So from the dry hop side, what are the? I know sort of before you were saying that when you mix two hops, they kind of like become their own little melange of themselves. But is there anything you can pick in this beer? Any particular flavor profiles that you can identify that like, that's definitely the Simcoe?
Yeah, I think there's like a menthol kind of character to it. Like Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which we said the spearmint would, so that probably ties into that a bit.
Exactly.
I mean, it's subtle. I would never have used that word, but I like it a lot in the best way. I think it's awesome. Like, it's such a cool descriptor. And
Yeah,
it's one of those brain tricks that, like, as soon as you say it, I mean, it's kind of like, oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Is that real? Like, as far as like, can you really taste it, or are you tricking yourself into taste it?
It almost, that's a great question, man. It almost, I don't want to. It's a good question, and my answer to that is it almost doesn't matter. It's whatever your,
that's a good answer.
Whatever your association is for what you're smelling or tasting is real. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
if your brain goes somewhere, that association is real to you,
and you're experiencing that thing.
Yeah, and the challenge is just like, how do you communicate that to somebody who might not have the same vernacular or experiences, right? That's how. Yeah, I would always encourage my like tasting room staff to be like, because they don't, they taste stuff and be like, well, I don't know, I don't really know anything. And I'm like, whatever you're tasting is there. You just got to communicate. That's all it is.
Sometimes it's hard to identify. I think that's the skill. The skill is the identification, and then putting like the word to it, like.
And the hardest thing that what I find is hard is getting stuck in using the same descriptors all the time, because it's you kind of like run to your defaults like you always do, and I'm trying to think like, am I just going to my defaults here, or am I or is this what I'm actually detecting? And I can really get in my head with it and start tripping myself up. But it's that's a good reminder that just kind of like whatever occurs to you, like you kind of need to not overthink it and just kind of like trust yourself that what you think you're tasting is real.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. The associations are the hard part.
Yeah. I'm just, as you're sort of talking, I started and I don't normally do this, and how like with wine they teach you do that thing where you lean forward and you sort of like inhale and it bubbles around in your mouth to get the flavors. So I'm just like, I started like smacking my lips and smacking my tongue around my mouth a bit there, and like I almost felt like I was getting some of the berry. I don't know, it could have been this exact thing we're talking about, some of the berries in this Simcoe here. And I
my brother gets so mad at me when I do that. It's the funniest thing.
The noise?
If I'm tasting a new beer, I'll like this, and he's like, "Stop chewing the beer, dude!
Fucking drink it."
Yeah, it's tough, man. Anyway, so aerating it, because there's olfaction and retro.
And sorry, I cut you off. Olfaction and retrofaction.
I think it's called retrofaction, but like, you don't just smell through your nose, you smell through like your nose is connected to your throat. So like when you taste something, it's like if you try plugging your nose and chewing gum, like it doesn't taste like anything anymore.
Right.
If you increase the amount of volatilization of the things you're tasting in your mouth, that is going to then go into your nose, and you'll be able to pick up more of those flavors that have maybe a lower detection threshold, is the idea. So it literally does help you taste the beer. So,
well, that's and that's one of the prime reasons that why when you're sick and you kind of like can't smell anything, that like you also like if you're all congested and plugged up, that's why you can like kind of barely taste anything sometimes.
Yeah.
That was my first thought, was like, oh, that's why. Yeah. Interesting.
And it's like, you're super genius. You're doing the right thing the whole time.
Yeah. Fuck. I'm lacking this. I just don't do that. Like Nate, I have the exact same thing. And because we drink a lot of haze, right? And there's a lot of similar hops in the haze. And I'm reviewing it. I'm like, dank citrus, there's pithy grapefruit, there's fucking mango, there's some stone fruit. It's like, I feel like, am I just like, same Nate. I think about it all the time. And I'm like, I wonder sometimes if I'm making it up, or if I'm trying to just pull something out of my ass to write it down, or I'm reading the tasting notes on the can or on Untapped or on Instagram or whatever. And is
it influencing you and all this?
And I wonder, and sometimes it's like, I don't know, man. I've done like this 10,000 and change of these fucking reviews, and it's like, it's cool. I still enjoy it, but I don't know if it becomes redundant or if that's just what it is. Like, I mean, I guess there's only so many flavor profiles you can extract. there's a finite number of it, I imagine. And there are multiple factors, whether it's the yeast and the malt and the hop combination, how the hops were used, whether it's flowable, whether it's T90, whether it's whole cone, So there's like a million things, but yeah, it is interesting.
So this beer is phenomenal. Like
slaps, dude.
You mentioned like the confluence of all the different parts of the beer, and like you just inspired me as to what we're going to do next, which is great. But like West Coast IPA is so fun because it's like a very particular kind of it's like a process driven beer almost. Like there's the flavor, but there's a couple of very particular breweries that like invented West Coast IPA, whose names always escape me, which is brutal. But like
Sierra Nevada,
not even Sierra Nevada. Like there are a lot of them are in like Portland and Northern California.
Like a little lesser known stuff.
Yeah, they're not like
Russian River, not like Pliny or something.
Not like Russian River. Russian River, like West Coast IPA, like that's like American IPA, classic American IPAs. And
you're talking about old school Westy, like the amber, a little bit more amber.
That's old school, but like what people now are calling West Coast IPAs are like very particular group of breweries that are kind of making beers, and it's like you lean into like tons of sulfate in your beer, very, very crisp, like low gravity, super pale, like almost all Pilsner malt. And like this beer is just a good example of that. Like it's just like super crisp, snappy, pretty high IBU. And
it's pretty bitter.
Yeah, I didn't ask what yeast they used in this, but like a lot of West Coast IPAs are lagered at this point, which is which can lend this like really nice like rich malt note to it, which is really cool. It's a hard style to make. Yeah, in my opinion.
And make it well. There is not many in Ontario, which is fucking annoying, dude. Like this one is amazing, and it's not year round, from what I understand.
No, these guys do like a new beer every week. It's crazy.
Yeah, but Town does not have a year round Westie, which is a damn shame because they're very good at it.
Because really, one of the ones we're going to have shortly is a year-round Westie. Is one of the very few that's always around.
One of the first.
One of the first. I mean, you got Nickelback Headstock. You probably got Great Lakes Canuck, but I think even Canuck, I don't know if that's considered a Westie. Because
I mean, that's a pale ale, and it's that's kind of in a category of its own. Yeah, that's more like the Ontario, like that kind of the classic Ontario pale ale. I would not really count that as a Westie.
Okay. Yeah. And when we say Westie, by the way, I feel like I don't know about you guys. I say that as a generic term for like the clear bitter piney IPA. And I know there is nuances, but I'm like, we're having a Westie, and it could be an American IPA, it could be a whatever. The variety of differences. The old school West Coast. But there's not. It's the one thing that like if we're all been drinking beer for a while, this was IPA. You think of IPA like back in 2011, 2012, Mad Tom. That's what the fuck it was. Headstock. Lone Pine, all those
even up to the days of like 2015 2016 like sort of thing. It was like the big ones that you'd hear about in the States would be like the Green Flash, like 1000 IBU, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Like that kind of shit.
Big Doinks, or even Minnesota or whatever.
Which one?
There's one called Big Doinks out of is it out of Minneapolis or it's one of my colleagues was at the brewery that created Fair State. Thank you. Yes, Big Doinks.
West Coast. It's 6.5.
I think it's like it's like all CTZ. It's like the dankest beer you can ever have.
All right. I want big. Oh, it looks hazy. Oh no. Okay, someone's posted.
Apparently it slaps. I've never had it, but apparently it's really good.
Fucking Big Doinks, mate. Oh, I'm looking out for Big Doinks. What a sick name.
Dude, I got something for you. Okay, so we're talking about like West Coast, we're talking about like dank farm beers, right? So when people think dank, they think like CTZ, they think Columbus, they think like, those hops, right? And so we sell Cryo Columbus, right? And with all the other like Citra and Mosaic and Simcoe, whatever, all the cryo versions of that, like we have a lot of individual lots that are turning to cryo. So there's a lot of different versions. But if we did that with CTZ, there'd be a lot of really, really terrible lots that would get turned into cryo because a lot of CTZ is grown for alpha and like that's it, right? So we have to be very deliberate about what we turn into Cryo Columbus. And so we bring brewers, like pretty influential IPA brewers from all over North America to Yakima to select the lot that gets turned into Cryo Columbus, which is, it's an aroma product, right? And it is just like so dank, but like not oniony and just like really well rounded. It's almost like a whole other hop variety, and it makes phenomenal West Coast IPAs.
Okay.
We have this event called Dank Dive, which is just like onion rings, honey garlic wings, dank beers on tap party.
Oh
and,
my
during
God,
hop
you're
selection,
speaking-
it's a rage.
You are speaking my language here, man.
Damn. Fuck, we're gonna get out there.
Phenomenal.
If you guys fly out in like, I'll tell you when it's happening. Fly out to Yakima. I'll show you the ropes. It'll be great.
I'm really seriously considering it this year because I just keep hearing about it, and it's like it's one of those. It's basically the two things I want to do in beer is Yakima and Oktoberfest in Germany. The two things.
Oh, for sure. What's like going to Mecca? It's phenomenal.
Yeah, like both of the. You've done Oktoberfest?
I went 2 days before it officially started, and I got a private Oktoberfest party at Weinstefaner in Munich or in Bavaria.
Come on.
That was the reason I became a hop rep. It was like, this is the best life ever.
Like,
it was phenomenal, man. It was so good.
Fuck yes. It's just every year I'm always just seeing all the posts like this, Matt. Even just like fucking Drake went like, and he was posting it all there, and all his boys were just like, I'm like, God damn it, I just need to go. Yeah, this is I don't know what's CTZ again?
Right. So like Columbus is a hop, right? Is a very famous, like very dank hop. Sorry, CTZ is like, there were 3 varieties. There was Columbus, Tomahawk, and Zeus. And my understanding is that they were so similar that it actually became disputed with like who invented it. Because that's like the growers were like, this is Tomahawk, and the other one would be like, no, that's my Zeus. Like, that's Zeus, clearly. And there was this whole thing, and then they just was like, it's CTZ, and that's just, now it's
Blended up.
It's like all referred to as CTZ. So if you see CTZ, that's like good, reliable bittering hop. Like, that's what it is.
Gotcha. That makes complete. I remember Tomahawk and Zeus from back in the day. Now you mention it, and I hadn't seen him in a while, and I guess that's why. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I love it. Beautiful. Let's do this next one. Yeah.
I would love to do. What are we doing next?
Oh, you said that.
You sounded like you got a plan. What?
We were
talking
about we were talking about like all the multiple factors and stuff, and slow. I want to do slow from Slate.
All right,
let's go.
My boy Nick.
Nick's the champion.
Yeah, Nick is the best. Fuck, who doesn't love Nick? Nick is a goat, man. I feel
he
like
plays in an orchestra, and
the Toronto Symphony Orchestra.
he plays like the movie soundtrack things, which I'm so jealous. I don't know if you can tell, I'm a giant dork. The Lord of the Rings poster in the background.
One of the greatest movies of all time. So I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I remember being sick from high school, and I think I watched all 3 of the extended versions back to back in one day.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I've read all the books. I love it. I love that shit. I learned so many words from that because I'm reading it. I'm like, what the fuck is a Dell? Like, like old English 1910 words to describe stuff, and you're like, God damn it. Slake is another one in the LCBO that I should have mentioned earlier and neglected to mention. It's Slake is one of the best breweries in Ontario. I love them so much. They got the best view out of anywhere. I don't know if anyone could really compete. I'm so happy to see them out in the LCBO like that. Oh, Nate, we got the same glass. Nice. I wish this one, I was a little disappointed that this one was not as fresh in the LCBO. That means it's not moving fast enough, which was like, God damn, people should be buying this. What the fuck?
Yeah, I could. The one that I grabbed is from late October. That's not ideal.
Oh no, I got November 25th, so mine's probably like a month more than you.
Mine's December. Mine's early December.
Okay, that's not so bad. So
bad.
So maybe it's maybe it sort of differs depending on where you get it from. Then it was more like my first thought was, oh man, like who is not buying this? This is crazy. Like
this is a really good IPA.
It's an exceptional IPA.
It's great, and it's really. I love how Nick approaches making it too. It's really really innovative. I love it. So this one is Cascade, Citra, Simcoe, from what I recall.
Mash hopping, thoughtful lot choice, stylized yeast, Citra, Simcoe, Cascade.
That's right. Okay.
Cascade, like not New Zealand Cascade, but actual Cascade.
No, not Tahiki, regular old Cascade.
Damn.
So, what Nick does, which is there's some breweries that really lean into this, and some of them are a lot bigger than you'd think, which is really really interesting.
Okay.
So, as a hop vendor, I love Nick because he will come to me sometimes and go, "What's the oldest Cascade you have?" And I'm like, "Here you go." And he's like, "Cool, it's going to the mash." Because it's functional. That is a functional application for it, right? There's no aroma coming out of that. What it's doing is you're stripping out thiol precursors. It's we're talking chemistry at this point. You're strictly adding hop vegetal material for a functional process. And you're lautering, like you're throwing it on top of your grain bed, strip, like do process, and you're pulling thiols into the wort, you're boiling the wort, that's going in fermentation. And then he uses a really cool yeast, which has certain, it's very, very positive in certain genes that it has that make a protein that turns that compound from that hoppies out of the mash into what is essentially grapefruit flavor.
Huh.
So there's certain compounds in hops they have like a sugar on them or like an amino acid on them. And the yeast, if it has the right enzyme, can just like karate chop that off. And now we as drinkers can smell and taste that thing. So it's a way of like cheating in more flavor without adding a ton more dry hop to your beer.
Interesting. So in the mash with the grain.
Yeah. You just throw it right on top, and the water, like you're lautering, it's kind of just it'll pull the flavor, like those precursors out of the hop content, right? And it's a really, really high value way of getting, like, you have to kind of build your processes around it. But it's a great way of getting like very potent flavor into a beer without that crazy inputs. It's kind of awesome.
Interesting.
That's very awesome, and like a really kind of keen insight into other more like nuanced flavor elements that like that are really not obvious.
I hope I'm not oversharing. I did mention I was going to be on this podcast. Like it's really cool. Like weirdly, some hops are higher in those precursors, right? So Sats, weirdly, like Czech Sats is really high in it because it's like not considered an aroma hop. U.S. grown Sats, U.S. grown Cascade is one of the highest, and you can use that as so like adding something like Cascade early in fermentation would have a similar effect, but you'd get way more of like the hop flavor in it, right? So if you're strictly trying to like layer in way more of those precursors, adding it in the mash is a way to do that without getting all the hop oil in your finished beer, right? And it doesn't contribute any alpha or beta or anything, which is awesome. And if you just keep your yeast healthy and use the right strain, you can get like this greater than some of its parts effect from that kind of process, which is phenomenal.
I love that. What a smart way to use it. The other thing that struck me here, I was looking at the thing here with the thiolized yeast, which is an sort of a little out of scope, I guess, of everything that we're talking about. But I feel like I'm getting that. Like, I remember when Phantasm was like pretty popping there for a bit.
Sure, yeah.
It was in a lot of beers. Not particularly something I'm massively fond of, or the thiolized yeast or whatever. It's got this has like that tang. And I don't know if I'm getting it because I read the stylized yeast in it. Once again, coming back to that last convo, but it's like I'm definitely getting that sort of like it's almost like a orange powdered drink tang thing, like like that drink tang.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, like that type of shit going on, which is alongside all the other hop. What are the other hops in this? It's Citra, Simcoe, Cascade.
Yeah,
and the Cascade is only in the mash, not the whirlpool.
I believe it's also dry hop with Cascade, which might be part of that. Cascade has this really nice like lemon. I always say lemon ginger, but like candied ginger, like that kind of like bright, sparkly kind of ginger thing.
Yeah.
And
Wow, that's great. That's an interesting fucking tasting. Yeah, like the one with the sugar on it.
I smell stuff so much, man. I'm literally like we're at hop selection and we're just like it's like is that lime? And it's like no lime leaf. Like we're so into it. It's
Wow.
we drill down, man. It's crazy.
I love that.
I spell stuff so much. Is that an episode
It's
name?
fun. Yeah. Please.
I gotta say, for a can that's 3+ months old, this is actually tasting pretty damn good. And I'm like, I love this beer. Like when it's fresh, it's fucking fantastic. But I'm surprised at how good this is tasting for 3+ months old. I was even thinking before you said this, like candied citrus is what I'm getting a lot of in this right now, and it's been too long since I've had it fresh to to have an accurate comparison. But the candied citrus note is kind of like coming across quite nicely, like a bit of sweetness to it, but still the same like bitter zestiness like that comes along with that. It's surprisingly good for the age.
Yeah, Craig, you said that like Tang drink was a good cue, and like that's absolutely what I'm getting. I'm curious, I am curious if the human, like our ability to smell these diol compounds, the threshold is very low, very 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 low. So there doesn't need to be a high concentration. So I'm curious if like they just age really well. I'm just curious if those kinds of things age well. I don't know.
That's a good
Interesting
point. I would say because mine's 2 months and change, and I don't think I would have thought that would be, if I didn't know that, I wouldn't have really picked it. I think this is drinking exceptionally well too, which is probably why they made this a LCBO product, because sometimes that happens. It's definitely fascinating. There was the candied ginger's the one that's tripping me out now. I feel like in the best way. I feel like I'm getting that a lot. There's like I love ginger tea. Like, you have, and you get that little sting at the back of the throat, pause type of thing. And it's like, I feel like I'm getting that a little bit mixed with that orange tang. It's like a zippy, like a pithy almost type of thing going on. This is such an interesting beer. It's what I would typically describe as like a East meets West almost, where there's like in a style that's like as hazy as, I feel like it doesn't look as hazy on camera as it does in real life. It's actually quite murky. It's that ginger, whatever that little pine, it's almost like that woody pine thing that we've been talking about a lot, that you wouldn't find typically in a big juice bomb, like it wasn't in any of the other haze that we've had tonight, the high grade or square wheels. And in this one, it's completely different. It's such a different. I haven't had this since, I think it's Untapped said 2024 was the last time.
Probably the last time we had Nick on the pod.
6th of June 2024. It says so. Probably, yeah. Wow, that's fucked up. I guess because I've had
Cascade's a beautiful hop. It's almost too bad because it just grows really badly. Like it
Cascade in
like
general.
Yeah, it's like Centennials like that too. Like they don't grow well. They don't store well. They don't pelletize well. But like the aroma, there's a reason they've stuck around. Like if not for their flavor, they would be they probably would have gone for the way of the dodo. But Cascades it's really quite phenomenal, man. We're breeding some new varieties to kind of provide like an alternative to it. So I know you guys were asking about kind of the growers and the farmers and that kind of thing. And
I was literally thinking please, thank you, man. Great pivot. You've done this before, right?
I try. So so like when you see varieties titled like HBC, right? You see that title a lot, right?
Yes.
So that stands for Hop Breeding Company, right? And so we're a majority partner in that, along with one other grower, or one other vendor, I should say. And so like Citra, Mosaic, those are all, like Sabro, those are all Hop Breeding Company varieties. And so you'll see these new ones come out, like
Dulcita, Crush.
Dulcita was 1019, Crush was 586. Phenomenal, just phenomenal hops. And now because the focus for a long time was like, what's the next basically IPA hop, right? It was for the longest time it was like Citra, Sabro, Mosaic, not in order, but like that kind of stuff. Crush came out, Dulcita came out, And then I think HBC was looking at the portfolio and going like, oh my God, we are like so over indexed in IPA stuff. We need to like, and they're working on 10 different things at once, but like, let's put a little more focus into like classic flavors, right? Because the growers are looking at what their acreage is, and they're saying like, okay, we have a lot of really inefficient acreage, right? We have tons of acreage of like Centennial and Willamette and like Nugget and all these things that grow terribly, but are popular because there's really nothing that can fill that gap that's been bred to date. And so like we have 3 that are in kind of that category right now, which I'm stoked on. So the way that pipeline works is we'll take plants from the field, we'll crossbreed male and female, and that'll generate seed, and then we'll do tiny little pot trials. Is it even viable? Like, does it even grow? Yes. Does it generate cones? Yes.
Okay.
Do the cones smell usable? Yes. Great. Okay. Next step. And so that goes to like a 1-row trial. Awesome. Like, how does it perform as an actual infield row? And then we do that again. Does it generate cones? What is the yield? What are its kind of, how needy is it? Water, fertilizer, that kind of stuff. And then what is the actual brewing values of the hop? If it performs well at that stage, then it goes to like a full field test, which is like multiple rows, like at least an acre. And I think this is where we start calling it like HBC elite status, which is where we can actually start commercializing it and like selling it to brewers. So we have a couple right now that are in that stage. So we're talking about Cascade. HBC 522 is our answer to Cascade. It's way more efficient as far as agronomics. I think the oil is like almost 2.5 grams per 100 mil, which is almost 3 times higher than Cascade typically. Alpha is a little higher too. It's very, very punchy, great flavor. That one I'm really, really, really excited about. I know the town guys are excited about it too, actually. I talked to them recently. 638 is our answer to Centennial. And then I personally am the most excited about the least sexy one, which is 1134, which is our answer to like European Hersbrucker.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a lager hop, right? And it tastes and smells like European lager hop, but it's like its alpha is like 13%, and its total oil is like almost 3, which is literally 3 times more than most European hops. So it's just way more flavor. Like if you dry hop it, like it makes a phenomenal Italian Pilsner as well, I'll say. So there's a lot of really cool stuff coming out of the breeding program.
That's fucking sick. Thank you. I didn't even think to ask you about how that worked because it's so cool. All I remember, either they told us on the pod with Luke 8 years ago, or someone else told us, but it takes like the reason why pops are patented is because it takes 10 years to do what you just described, to go through that process. You have to wait seasons to grow, testing, So that's how people who spend all that money and time doing that recoup on that, as opposed to just letting anybody just, hey, here's the seeds, grow this shit. The oil content, what does that mean for the end product? So like you're saying it's got like 2-3 times the oil content. Does that just mean intensity of flavor?
Yeah, potentially. So like Sats is a great example that I always fall back to. Sats has a typical oil content of like 0.5 grams per 100 mil to like 1 maybe on a good year. So like it doesn't have a lot of aromatic oil, right? A lot of the flavor comes from, a lot of the purpose of Sats comes from beta and the minimal alpha it has, and then like your polyphenols and the kettle. Like Sats is typically a kettle hop, and then certain styles will dry hop with it. But you need to use a lot to get like good, like a lot of flavor. 1134 has way more oil. And what that basically means is you can use way less of it. You can use way less of it. And in a commercial brewery, like that's money that's not getting absorbed by your Tinati pellets.
Gotcha.
Now, like, I'm never going to tell somebody like, hey, are you brewing? Like, I'm never going to go to Czech Bar and say like, hey, swap off your Czech sauce. That's insane. I'm never going to do that. But if you're like targeting a flavor profile and you're not like married to using a geographic hop variety and you just want like a flavor and a functional kind of product, that is a super, super good alternative that has just like incredible potency. And it has a flavor that's like, it's just close enough to a European hop while still being like a little bit different, that it's still exciting, right? You can make a dry hop lager with it, and it's not just gonna like taste just like straight up like a traditional dry hop pilsner. It's gonna taste like a little more interesting.
Has anyone started adopting that yet that you could speak to?
Yeah, I mean, let's see. So, I mean, I know Town's a huge fan of it. Like their Country Gold is using.
Oh, that we talked about that on email. Okay, that was we didn't get that one, but that's sorry. What was the name? There was what was the number?
1134.
1134. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Town have already started fucking with it. Have like dudes like Godspeed, True History, like like full crisp nerds, like the full.
Yeah.
Like,
those guys are. I have not actually talked to them about it yet. I've talked to them about it. I don't know if they've used it yet.
Okay. I'd be curious if they would be down for it, because often, them Milan, Silo, Ildegard,
Yes.
all the the crispy Truth and Ale, like those like those type of cats. I was just curious if they would. I don't know if they're like married to like SARS and shit like that. I feel like they'd be pretty cool to try.
They would love to try it. I know they'd love to try it. I mean, those guys are the masters. Like they. That's
why I was curious. Yeah.
Oh,
they must be excited though, just because it's something different, fun for them to test out and see what flavor profiles they can get with their beautiful bases that they have.
Yeah. I think every brewer deep down is an innovator, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even the ones that are generally super traditional in nature are generally down to fuck with with some alternative products.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like seeing them though, because it's been cool to see like doing the write-ups and stuff that Nate and I do, and like always writing about 1019 and 586 and all these things. You just start memorizing the numbers, but we were into it after Citra was a thing, and after like we didn't see the 58 the HBC of it all. So it's really cool to have seen a few different hops go into have a life of their own. I think even do you remember what Sabro was? Because I remember you.
Oh God, the number I don't remember.
Sabro HBC. Let's see if it comes up. 438.
438. That's
438.
338. Sabro's a really fun one too, because I was talking to one of our growers last harvest, and he was picking Sabro when I was visiting him, and like a lot of brewers have a mixed opinion of Sabro, right? Because of that coconut note, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love Sabro, love it. I'll die on that hill. And the Kevin Smith, so one of our growers, was
that's who we had on the pod, I think.
Oh, beautiful.
What's his farm?
Loftus Ranches.
I think that was
so
him.
They're a phenomenal grower. They're awesome. But we were talking about Sabro, and we were talking about the history of it and the brewer's response to that variety, right?
Right.
And the feedback he gave me was like, when it came out, like every time a new variety comes out, part of the reason that a variety gets commercialized is it has to fit into where farms do their picking, right? So much acreage is committed to Citra and Mosaic that if it's too close to like September 10th, we can't commercialize it. Like as an industry, we cannot commercialize it because it would overlap with Citra, Mosaic, Amarillo. Like it would overlap with all these varieties. There'd be no space to pick it. So when Sabro came out, it was given a pick window that was like a little bit, I think, earlier than Citra. So awesome, cool. So they started picking it and growing it and picking it kind of all over that window, just as needed. And the result was the late pick stuff was really coconut forward, because hops kind of behave like a fruit, right? Like they age, they mature, like they ripen. And so when Sabro came out, it was like so much Sabro out there was that late pick stuff.
Mhm.
And a lot of brewers got it. And they were like, when a new hop comes out, you're like, oh, let's make a single hop IPA, single hop Sabro. And it was that late pick Sabro. It was like, nice. I'm chugging a bottle of sunscreen, right? I'm not saying I love that. I love the hop. I don't love chugging sunscreen. But since then, and not even recently, but like years ago now, a lot of the growers have now shifted to picking Sabro very early in the pick window. And it's led to like a much more nuanced hop profile that has like a hint of the coconut, but then like a ton of more like interesting, complex herbal and tropical notes, which is really cool. And I tend to find that like cryo and the liquid products tend to strip out some of those more overt coconut notes, in my opinion. What I tell people is like, open your heart to Sabro, is what I keep telling people.
That might be the episode name.
Yeah. Yes, please. That would be phenomenal. If you
Open your heart to Sabro.
So good.
Open your heart to Sabro.
You know, I'll say this for Sabro, like, love it or hate it, it is definitely a hop that kind of taught craft beer drinkers like how hops can have really distinctive flavors more than anything else before it did. Like I feel like craft beer drinkers before Sabro became really popularized, we're starting to get an idea of hops. Like Citra was obviously very popular, Simcoe obviously very popular, but I feel like there was none of them that anyone would really pin down a particular flavor note to before Sabro. Sabro came up and everyone associates Sabro with that coconut flavor. Yeah. So like, love it or hate it, like, people really learned to associate a hop with a particular flavor note with Sabro. And I feel like that kind of changed the game in people's kind of palate vocabulary.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I wonder if the same type of thing happened with Crush, because 1019 has that similar coconut pina colada.
Dulcita.
I'm sorry, Dulcita. Fuck it.
Good.
Yeah, not 586, 1019.
Yes.
Yeah, and I wonder if you're right, Nate, because I was always thinking Sabro led the way with having a one note thing being attributed to it, which is, and that's why I always thought of Simcoe as orange or citrus, like more so than anything else, like that real intense orange. And I clearly learned in the Better Days IPA there that it's not the case. And then 1019 kind of continued that coconut thing.
Yeah. I mean, Sabro walked so Dulcita could run is the joke, right? Like that's. but it's funny the Sabro thing. Like the growers changed what their picking windows were. Like Simcoe did the same thing, right? Like,
right.
It for a long time Simcoe was like pine trees and menthol, and now it's like tropical and raspberries. Like it's the growers. We have a whole program. Like we have a very data driven selection program where we feed data back to the growers when they do selections.
Okay.
So, if a majority of brewers pick like a certain profile of a certain variety, it's like the growers are going to respond to that. Like they're going to pick because they want to get their lots picked, right? They don't want their lots to be like, non-selected, just kind of out there. They want to have their lots desired by brewers. And so they respond to that data. It's a very interesting symbiosis, actually. It's awesome. Yeah.
We should go to the next beer, but I want to double click on that statement about farms wanting their stuff picked. I'd like to just learn more about that.
Sure. Yeah.
And that actually ties into more how you work with farms, which is one of the things that we want to talk about as well.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Let's crack the next beer and we'll dig into it.
Let's fucking do it. What are we thinking, boys? When I say boys, I mean Alex.
So we just did. I feel like we should do the sawdust, the Lone Pine now. That makes sense.
You want to do that now?
Yes. Yeah, let's do that. That's awesome.
Oh, okay.
All right. Classic Westy.
Classic. Yeah. I hope the listeners can pick up the very satisfying can opening. That's.
Oh yeah, that's the best part. I feel like the microphone picks these bad boys up.
Yeah. Add it in post. It's all good.
Oh yeah, we actually. I had from the episode 1. You know we had a little bottle opening sound, and we took that from opening the first bottle on episode 1. It just was like such a nice one. It's this perfect little click thing. It's great.
And I'm always opening it like right in front of my mic right here, so it's definitely catching it.
Oh yeah. And I got this from January 28th, and this is February 5th.
Ooh, fresh.
This is like
mine not so much. This is November 17th. But like thankfully this is not a beer that falls off it like very quickly, which is a good thing.
Oh yeah, we have nothing to worry about here. Yeah, absolutely nothing.
This is going to be a good beer. I'm not worried.
This is going to be, or this is guaranteed to be.
Yes, this is guaranteed. Well, I mean, I said this
was made by the masters.
I know, I'm being a dick. Look, Sam is the fucking best. Alex, Jimbo out there. I just can't speak enough to those. Look at the clarity of that beer. These dudes, immense respect for everything they're doing. Masters of the game. I just love seeing how far they come. Obviously, Sam is the fucking goat, but even just seeing Jimbo's been there like close to 10 years, I believe.
Yeah.
And the way we did our first ever collab with them, and it was our first ever canned collab in 2018. And there was a first double IPA they did, and they put the most hops in any beer that ever had at the time.
Was that the first double IPA they've done?
It was, yeah.
Oh, that's
wild.
Was that the basis for Double Pine?
No, it was actually I have it right here. Let me get that out.
You have the can.
And it's actually still closed. And this is from February 2nd, 2018. So it was called Get It In Ya. They put our stupid faces on it. This was a 8.5% double IPA with all Aussie hops because of obvious reasons. Vic Secret, Ella, and Galaxy back when Galaxy was the tits. And it was funny because they hadn't worked with the hops like that before, and Galaxy was when it was fresh, it was the I had friends who had it 18 months later and they said it was drinkable. Like I'm talking even 6 months later, it was the hop burn was the most intense.
When it was fresh, that beer was hot.
I'd never had a hotter beer to this day.
Hot as fuck.
What year did you say that was?
February 2018.
February 2018.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I remember a Galaxy beer I did. Oh God, what was this? That was the first year I was a brewer, a commercial brewer, and other people since then have been like, "Oh yeah, 2020, what a year for Galaxy!" Burned like hell. Now it's improved a lot.
It went to hell for a bit, and then it came on back. Look at this. Once again, this was what we were talking about before. One of the year-round West Coast IPAs, one of the very, very few in Ontario. Gentlemen, get that in you.
Cheers.
Yeah, this one is so more
stunning,
so much more classic West Coast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so perfect. It's such a great beer. It's and let me just bust out the notes that you have here, Alex. It's Simcoe Crush, Hyper Boost, and Dyna Boost.
No, sorry, I made a mistake. I totally screwed up. That is the Double Pine. I had to correct myself.
Okay.
This one is on the can, so it's Summit, Simcoe, Columbus, and Chinook.
That makes way more sense because I was like, I don't think there's crush in this beer.
No. Sorry about that. No, in my head I had to mix up.
Dude, you're good.
The Double Pine's got the Hyper Boost, which is kind of awesome.
There it is. Okay.
That's sick.
But this one does get Dyna Boost and Hyper Boost in it, which is the reason I wanted to bring this one. So
okay, I love it. Great choice.
Got a really cool something that I don't think anybody else in the province does this, but he has a centrifuge coming off of his whirlpool, coming off of his brew house.
Yes.
So I think he was one of the first consistent adopters of Dyna Boost in the province, I'm pretty sure. Because with that system, he needs to if you get outsized value out of stripping as much vegetable material out of your kettle as possible, right?
Gotcha.
And you just get a ton more beer out of there, which is one huge benefit. But then he also really likes the flavor he gets out of it, and so it gets a whole bunch of Simcoe, Dyna Boost, and Whirlpool, and then in dry hop it's about 30% Simcoe Hyper Boost, I think, something like that. and that's just like added at regular dry hop. All your pellets go in at that point, condition for a couple days, go to bright, carbonate, package, and just generates an awesome flavor. It's like super pine forward. It's got a little bit of that like dankness from the Columbus and the Chinook, which is awesome.
Yep. The malt profile is beautiful, great sweetness. It's not very aggressively hot, bitter, which I think is great. Arguably, I don't know when the last time I had this was, but I've had this a bunch. But I feel like it's like, when was the last time I had it? Oh, like 10 months ago. I had it at fucking Sawdust. Yeah, okay. It's which is perfect. It's just like such a, I was gonna say gateway in the sense of, if you're like, I almost feel like West Coast need more of a gateway these days, because if you compare them to what do you call it, other more aggressive West Coast, or at least New England IPAs that are so soft, fruity, tropical, easy to approach. Like, you give them to a non-beer drink. I've definitely given. I remember being in New York with my girlfriend, one of her friends. She's like, "Oh, can I try that? Because it's this murky yellow beer." This was like 2018, and she tried another hub. It's just, whoa, what? It tastes like tropical fruit. So I'm like, that's an IPA, man. Like, everyone thinks IPA is licking trees that we were talking about. So I feel like the Westies have a bit more of it's a little more difficult with that being around, when in 2014 this was an IPA, and the extreme, as you were saying earlier, Alex, was the fun part of it and the attraction part of it. Now it's like the thing that people make fun of for being who aren't beer people, the memes and all that stuff. Yeah. So it's really not. This is like such an approachable version of it.
See, I'm not sure I entirely agree with that. This is a bit more. This is a bit more of its time, because Lone Pine has been around for a while.
It has,
and I feel like this to me drinks a little bit more like it's not hugely aggressive, but it does drink a little bit more in the range of the 2015 style West Coast IPA to me. Like the last one that we had, like the Town Better Days, that one to me is a much softer West Coast IPA.
So maybe I'm tripping out. I should, because I've still got some left. I was thinking the complete opposite. Is that this was more, the Town was more aggressive than this, and it could just be because we had something in between. But
so now I'm comparing them. That's the thing. That's actually a very good point.
Okay.
Because like what I get more from Lone Pine than I did from Better Days is a lot more like grapefruit pith, which is a bit more of like a bracing bitterness. And I feel like that's the thing that a lot of people find a bit off-putting, at least like if they're not expecting it about West Coast IPAs.
Yeah, you're right. You're, and it could be just I don't know. In my head, this was pretty aggressive, but we'd had Better Days after having two pretty soft IPAs. Yeah. And soft meaning not bitter, not pithy or anything like that. And then we had Slow, which was kind of in between. I just kind of felt, maybe just because it's cold. When it's colder, it's a bit more intense.
Yeah, I have a bucket of snow here that's literally keeping my beers cool.
Keeping everything, even the ones in the glass.
Yeah, it's the Lone Pine is like, it's super. It has a little bit of that like Allison like onion garlic thing that kind of gives it that like a. Whenever I see like, I find Chinook and Columbus kind of bring this to the table, but like, there's like a funk it brings.
Yeah.
In a good way, like it kind of adds this like complexity to the beer, and then
and the way you're expanding our palate vocabulary right now is just fantastic.
Yeah, right. Seriously,
I'm telling you, it's that Iron Chef from when I was 6. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. No, it's the hardest thing about like, being able to communicate what beer tastes like is just like having the, you can get really, really esoteric about it, and there's a version of this where like what I'm saying is absolutely not there, but like to me it is, and to me that connection was made at some point, right?
Yep.
And I think everybody should just try to be like, taste the things, smell everything. That's what I tell everybody. Like, everything in your life, Smell it all, because at some point it might be useful.
Smell Everything is another good episode name.
Yeah,
right
I'm writing that down right now.
I'm on fire.
Yeah, honestly, Alex, you're fucking.
you are on fire. Like, you're giving us gold here. It's going to be tough to pick.
Yeah, no, it's usually when on the day of, once we got all together, Nate and I are like going back and forth, like, oh fuck, is this a good one? What do you think? There's so many gold, so much gold. So I think you might be right, Nate. This is, the more I'm drinking this, the more aggressive I'm feeling that this is. But I thought maybe I was more thinking it's not overly. I feel like this is like like kind of, maybe Alex, you alluded to this. It's such a fantastic example of like a really of its time, fantastic West Coast IPA. I froze again. God damn it. That it's something that maybe a gateway beer is the complete wrong term for it, but it's, I just don't think it's over the top. And it's got to be something like, if you're going to like West Coast IPAs like this, if you don't like this, then like, I guess you don't like Westies. Like, this is exactly what it should be. This
is a pretty quintessential West Coast IPA, I would say.
100%.
Well said. Yeah, it's just fantastic. I love this so much. Every time I have this beer, I'm like, God damn it! It's such a.
Like, if you want to think of a sawdust beer that's that's a gateway beer, you'd be thinking of Golden Beach. Like that one. Like his fantastic gateway beer.
Golden Beach. I was actually, you know what's funny? I was actually thinking about that because it was called. Was there one called Gateway Kolsch?
Yes, there is actually.
Yes,
I love it.
And
that's also a fantastic beer.
Yeah, that one. That one's a banger.
So, oh, sorry.
No, go on. No, that's all I was thinking. Because when I was even talking about sawdust and saying the word gateway, I was thinking about Gateway Kolsch.
No, of course.
But I was thinking specifically about West Coast, because I would imagine for a newer craft beer drink, unless you like, bitter cocktails or something, like Campari or some of those things that are very like bitter focused, this is a difficult kind of beer to get into in 2026 as opposed to 2015 or 2012 or whatever.
100%. That's a very good point.
And I wonder if this is like one of the most perfect examples of a year-round, always accessible, almost always fresh. Once again, this is a week old, the one that I'm having, and yours wasn't that much longer older, Nate. And I don't know what yours was, Alex. Did you see the date on your can?
This one was December, I think.
December, so like a month and change, but that's nothing for. I'll drink a 6-month-old.
But like this one is from November 17th, and it's tasting phenomenal. I'm loving it.
It's so good.
I always gravitate towards. I have a kind of fun story. So what I'm seeing a lot of, and just kind of my opinion as just kind of, kind of floating around
please,
in the world, is the breweries that are getting traction with consumers, like the ones that are, and this is like big picture going back like 50, 60 years, right? The ones that thrive, the ones that like grow and grow and grow and become kind of tent posts in their community or even become regionally quite dominant, are the ones that are just like absolutely laser focused on quality control, consistency, and like process, right? Those are the ones, period, right? You can look at the most, like Treehouse, right? Like Treehouse, you look at Treehouse in the States, which is like New England IPA brewery, right? They make super, there you go. Hazy IPA. They like, that is what they do. But damn it, they make so much of it with such consistent production specs, right? Like,
it's crazy.
It's insane. And it's insane to do that. And I remember when I started, like, I remember calling my dad when I was like, 10 years ago, whatever it was, being like, hey, I'm interested in craft beer. And he's like, well, I bet you hate Budweiser now. I'm like, really? You ever had a Budweiser that tastes different ever? That is hard. That is very hard. And I always go to Sierra Nevada as like the golden example of what a craft brewery can become.
Yeah. They
are so particular about quality, right? And Sam and Sawdust, like Sam and the whole Sawdust team, this is a beer that like, it is consistent. it even like speaks to you as a buyer. Like they're up in Gravenhurst. If you're up that way, like this brand speaks to you, right? You look at the can, you're like, Blown Pine, Canadiana. It speaks to Canadiana, right? And the flavor is approachable, it's consistent, and they are like, they are so uncompromising in their process to get that product where they need it every single time that you can have this beer 4 months old, 6 months old, 500 miles away from where they're brewed. It's going to be delicious every single time. And breweries that can hit that note are the ones that will thrive.
That's
Absolutely.
a great point.
And that's a great example.
Yeah. It's yeah. I love it though. It's a beautiful thing. We're so lucky to have stuff like this that's available year round. Yeah, I wonder if I wonder how. I always think, people always like. I always come back to the gateway stuff. I wonder how many does this beer, something like this, a style like this, does it convert people? Like, what's converting people to beer? I always
think
wonder.
It would.
You think because it's so well made, like you said, Sam, like you were comparing with Treehouse with Sawdust and their consistency, which is a fantastic. Obviously, the scale is very different, but I know that Charlton. Have you been to Charlton, Massachusetts? That's fucking Jurassic Park.
No,
so we have a vlog coming out tomorrow night, so Friday. I've edited it from 3 years ago. I've been catching up on all our old vlogs, and I did like a pan of like one side and like all the way to the other, and it's just fermenters.
Yeah,
and the fact that they're able to make that level of consistency is insane. But I'm on the Treehouse like a Facebook group, and dudes are getting like Julius from say Charlton, and then Julius from Woodstock, Connecticut, and apparently the Woodstock, because it's so much smaller, is a much superior product. That's what they're saying. Apparently it's way better, and it looks different. Like it looks murkier.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I've been to Charlton and Tewksbury, and I went to Saratoga in September. Everything's just phenomenal. I don't know enough. I guess I haven't drank enough of it to really know the difference. Everything and Saratoga doesn't brew; they just get their shit from Charlton, so it's whatever. So, but either way, that level of consistency across the board, the fact that even Treehouse doesn't distribute or anything like that, you have to go there and have that experience to acquire the beer. It's sick. And even Sawdust, even with the Laker Bays situation, they are maintaining they're doing all the production. They're doing all the IPAs for Merit now. We had Spinny and Sam on the pod last year to talk about the whole situation and just lay it all out. And it was very cool. They were both very honest with the situation, with the positives and the challenges, the things that they're, you got to adjust to when a new company comes in. And it's very cool because I feel like Sawdust, we always say they crack the code on haze. I feel like they like that Beautiful Magic one. Fuck, it's so good.
My god, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Like when that came on the scene, that was just like utter perfection.
And that's an LCBO beer.
What is it? One of the first hazies that came out in this province?
That was Juicin.
Was it Juicin? Yeah,
Juicin was 2016. That was Caleb. Shouts to Caleb. And
but yeah, like sorry, which one was it again?
In Sawdust in 2016 was Juicin, because I remember meeting Sam.
No. After that,
there was Binary System and there was Beautiful Magic.
Yeah, Beautiful Magic was when they like really just kind of like hit their stride with it, like with their haze. Like that one was just money every time.
So good. So I have like Sawdust have really got their shit dialed, and I know that Laker Bays took over. Just to reiterate your point, Alex, as far as their consistency and their quality and how fucking good Sawdust are, that Laker Bays took over Merit stuff, and they were making a style that they weren't really familiar with, and I believe that they had their challenges there, and then Sawdust were like, look, we'll do it. And now from when we were doing the pod, they weren't ready yet, but they just taken over. So my understanding is they'll be able to nail it, because I truly believe they've cracked the code after, like, particularly we did 2 versions of the Get It In Ya. The other one was in 2023. It was 2018, and then 2023 is 5 years. Yeah. so much different. That, you know, like Nate was saying, it was hot as fuck. Way less, you know, much more approachable. They really understood. I think our beer was the one that was a springboard to get them to understand it, because they had to do something crazy because we like crazy shit. And they just figured it out. And obviously they've dialed in Lone Pine for what, 15 years or whatever it is. So this beer is dialed in as fuck. And they've just been.
I'm so curious if the hop bill has changed dramatically over the years, because like
Good question.
I was listening to there was a conversation with a colleague of mine that was from a thing a while ago, and there's a lot of, like, if you're a production brewer and you have a brand that's in cans, it's in packaging, and you put the hops on your can, it's kind of actually risky. Like it's risky in a way that, like, there's, you know, I walked into conversations before, and someone tells me like, oh yeah, this is our IPA, and I go, cool, what's in it? And they go, yeah, there's Amarillo, Chinook, Columbus, Citra, Centennial, Cascade. Like, they just like list every hop imaginable. And the first thing I go is, was that beer invented in like 2014? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, that makes sense, because at that time you couldn't reliably get what you like. You couldn't reliably have any one of those hops be what you wanted it to be. And so like now it's kind of become the expectation that like you put the hop bill on the can, and hops change year to year, right?
Yeah,
so,
particularly for that production brewery, it is risky. You're right.
Yeah. So like committing to you like, it's good now. I think consumers have kind of the understanding of that. They kind of maybe understand a little more that like hops are a live product. Maybe not like deeply, but they understand it a little bit. And so, you know, they kind of understand that a lot of craft IPAs will change kind of year to year, right? A little bit. Whereas before it was like, you got to hit that spec every single time.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So that's the difference. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because the spec is important, but if you do put the hops on and maybe use that hop that year, like you were saying, because they are a living product like wine, or, you know, anything like that, you have years, and maybe that you need a specific flavor profile, maybe you have to swap something out, then now you got to change the whole can to be, you might have gone and got 500,000 cans printed or whatever, and
yes.
And then you're in a position. I think you're probably right. It's probably better to just keep changing it on Untapped or whatever.
Like it's you buy yourself some flexibility. On the flip side, it's like a lot of consumers have now come to expect, like, you know, Citra. Like, Citra, what does Citra mean? People know what it means now. Like, we talked about Sabro before, but like Sabro is a good example. Like, you see Sabro on a can, you know what it's going to taste like. So the marketing value of hops on a can now is like, it has more value than it did maybe 10 years ago. Whereas
100% it does. 100%.
Yeah, right.
Like nowadays people want to know, and it's almost a detractor if you don't know.
Yeah. Like at the point of purchase, like hopefully it would be on the can.
100%. At the point of purchase, absolutely.
And it's kind of annoying if you got to go to Untapped, though. I understand.
No, like, well, yeah, it's because that's a point of friction, right? If you need to do even one extra step, that's
some people might be like,
that's something that might be like, ugh, no, I can't be bothered right now.
Dude,
I'll put it back.
Such a good point. Like, I also understand. So I'm thinking of, I know Badlands write their descriptions beforehand and they're on the can, but say Third Moon doesn't, just for example, for hop focused breweries. Right. So Third Moon don't, but they might have the label and the name, and they might print that out way beforehand and could change it, but they'll keep it very up to date on Untapped. They do not fuck around with Untapped. Yeah. And sometimes, to me as a consumer who uses Untapped for informational purposes and for just logging what I've had, I don't really go through there and buy into all the stuff, but that is sweet. Then there's other ones, so it's not on the label, it's not on Untapped, so then I got to go to Instagram. Then you go to Instagram.
See, I'm a person who goes to Instagram first because I don't use Untapped anymore, so I go to Instagram first.
As a former brewer, I cannot look at Untapped anymore. I'm just like,
understood.
It's the bane of every brewer in the industry is just like, I can't look at Untapped, man. It's torture.
Although some people like, The opposite. Aiden from Flux was telling me he looks every single day. He doesn't post
And-
nothing. He
Does he? Oh, that's
Oh.
phenomenal.
And Guillaume from the Catch is another one who who will stay on top of Untapped every day.
I try and tag him all the time and in all the beers and stuff just to let him know. But he's on top of it. He always comment and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's dope. And he doesn't fuck around. He'll go and make sure it's on there. We'll have the right picture, like the label photo, all of that. I just like, as a user who writes in, takes some tasting notes, that's the easiest way. If it's not on the can, I'm not mad if it's not on the can. I completely get it. Because it's not always practical. But I don't know, keep your I always like emphasize it to brew. Just own the Untapped. Hate it or love it. It's a thing. Own your shit. Upload your own beers. Don't let the consumer do it. Put the proper label on there. Put the exact information, the tasting notes, the hops, whatever that people need to know. Put it on there. The right ABV. Just make it proper. Yeah.
I was talking to somebody, and they came to Selection in Montreal with us last fall, and they asked like, "Hey, could you send us like when you do your selection with us, you can get your selected lot as like a URL that'll link to our like lot lookup tool."
Cool.
And they were like, "Hey, can you send that to us? We'd love to have that as a QR code on our menus for you to like look at the lots in the IPA we serve." Right.
God
so
damn.
like this is so I was like,
That's next level.
I was like, "Oh hell yeah, brother!" Like that's
Whatever you want, big dog. Let's go.
full Predator handshake moment right there. It was awesome. So, I was thinking like that'd be awesome because you're telling your customers like they come in, they go like, "Oh, this is the IPA I've always enjoyed," but then they look at the menu, they scan it, and they go, "Oh, these are the lots in the like what?" And they spent a lot of time like training their serving staff, like explain what it means. And that was like such a collaborative approach to customer education. That was so cool. Collaborative is not the right word. I really appreciated them doing that. Taking advantage of the information they have on the table. Like, that was awesome.
That's sick.
Yeah,
What a cool fucking thing, man. God, I love that.
We've mentioned Dulcita a bunch, so I feel like we should break into the next one, which is
I
got the
agree.
Dulcita in it.
Let's take a quick bathroom break first, and then we'll get into that one.
Sounds great.
Perfect. We'll be right back, folks. And we are back.
And we're
speed it.
back.
And speed. Very good. Great.
And we're good. And we are kicking right back in with a little bit of Neon Trees from Uncle Jeffrey and Uncle Michael at town. Shouts to everybody there. Just wonderful.
My
Trav
boys.
and Curtis and Caitlin. They're all just wonderful humans.
They were the first account I visited on my own. Like after training and all that stuff, they were the first brewery I walked into. It was awesome.
That's all. Honestly, that probably explains everything. That's essentially why this is happening today, because you walked in there first. I love it. I love to hear it. Look, they're just salt of the earth. Like, everyone there is lovely. They're just such a great crew, and the brewery is awesome. They've just gone from strength to strength to strength. They're just getting better and better and better. It's it just makes me happy to see them. Oh, this smells amazing.
This one pops pretty hard. This is pretty good.
So this is Simcoe, Citra, Nelson, and Dulcita. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Citra Dynaboost, Simcoe T90 on the hot side, then Nelson, Citra, and Dulcita in the dry hop. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the Untapped is a little different to our notes, which I like.
It's pretty cool. So these guys were pretty early adopters of the Dynaboost. Like they weren't back when it was like branded, or when it wasn't branded, when it was called like YCH 702. So but they've definitely adopted it pretty well across a lot of stuff they do. But their Nelson is one of the most interesting things about this beer. So Mike and Jeff, like, they love Nelson so bad. Like I love Nelson so bad. It's phenomenal hop, right? And Yakima Chief is the like global partner, like global distribution partner for NZ Hops, which is our like parallel organization in New Zealand almost. So YCH is
had that.
Got the photo. There you go.
Yeah, I haven't had to do them much because I've had all the other beers tonight, so I got a few new ones.
Beautiful.
Bit of fun there, Alex. Bit of fun.
You nailed it.
Thanks, man. I've only done it 10,200
Practice makes perfect, baby. It's all good.
and 37 times. Yeah. Practice does make perfect. So New Zealand Hops is a subsidiary of.
No. So what I'm trying to get at is, so Blackman Chief is like, we're grower owned. We are a co-op organization. So like our board is the growers, right? In New Zealand, NZ Hops is a grower owned co-op, right? So like structure wise, structure and value wise, we're kind of parallel that way.
Gotcha.
I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, we actually like formalized a partnership for distribution globally, right? And so like we distribute and sell, all the stuff like Nectaron, Nelson, Sauvignon, Motueka, Ruaka, Superdelic, all the good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because we are like the global distributor and processor for NZ, we also offer hop selection for New Zealand hops, right? We were the first ones to really do that. And in the past, you had to come to the Craft Brewers Conference in the States to do that. But due to certain global changes in the state of the world, people maybe don't want to do that as readily. And also there's the travel commitment there, right? So we wanted to open that up to more people, right? And so we very quickly figured out a plan to offer New Zealand hop selection at our warehouse in Montreal, right? And like Mike and like Mitch over at Fine Balance and like Nick and Slake and all these other brewers came out to our warehouse and they selected their Nelson and Superdelic and Motueka and all these other things. So this has their selected Nelson in it. And I vividly remember getting a text message like probably in July from Mike being like, how much more of this Nelson is there and can I buy all of it? Because it's so like white grape forward, in that like really sweet, like not like a sharp grape kind of character, but like really sweet round version of it. That just like it blends very well with a lot of other hop varieties. And then the Dulcita in here, I personally like Dulcita is kind of like Sabro in that it just, if it's in a beer, it just jumps out at you, right?
Big time. I'm not gonna lie, I really like Sabro. I don't fuck with Dulcita. I just don't.
No,
no, I can't fuck with it, dude.
Craig, I gotta go. I'm sorry. It's I looked at the time. No.
I apologize. I didn't want.
No, it's all good.
I feel like I've had 1019 multiple times. I had Dulcita since it became that. There's something Sabro. I feel like I barely disliked any beer with Sabro in it. I feel like I like that the way that it presents, and I feel like Dulcita for me, it's too overpowering. And I feel like if this beer didn't have Dulcita, I'd be able to get so many more nuances. And I just don't love it. It's just not resonating, and I'm usually pretty good because I can't think of another hop that I don't fuck with. Do you know? There's only one other one I don't fuck with, and that's Crush. I don't like Crush or Dulcita. 586 or 1019. I'm just, I can't. Yeah, I don't know why. I've had. Do you know what town that like I can't remember which part it was, but Jeff said that they had some single hop Crush beers. I think he was saying they didn't really.
That was our collab from 2 years ago. I think that was probably
Sounds about right. Yep.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And it was the first time to really taste what Crush is. And I think what I learned from that beer is that Crush is a great collaborative hop, with 3-4 other hops. Money Zone. Dulcita also creeps up as all.
Yeah. I also think Crush works a bit better in Westies than it does in Hazies.
I think that is a great point.
It's like Crush was used both in Double Danky and Crush Hyper Boost in the
in the
Anderson double and in the Anderson double Westie.
Oh yeah, that's right. In the Anderson one, turned out awesome.
Yes,
that one did turn out awesome.
It was that.
I'm so glad we put that together. That was so good. Like
I loved that one.
Hey man, I'm so glad you guys jumped in to a bunch of stuff. It wasn't even because I remember talking to Luke. I had a call with him. I was like, he was like, yeah, look, we're down to do some stuff, and we kind of like lost touch. But I think the brewers reached out individually and just managed to figure stuff out as opposed to making it a wider thing, which was awesome that you guys came through and delivered that. So I think I learned that about Crush, and Nate, thank you for reminding me that it did work extra well in the West Coast style a little better. And also just learning, like trying it. It's cool though. I think it's fascinating to try these hops and just be like, does it work? There's so many hops. I imagine all three of us would have different opinions about different hops that maybe aren't single hop material. But they work just so good as a supporting hop, and they play like an orchestra. They just play a beautiful role right in that money zone, where they need to be.
I think that Crush, I think that it lacks the the high note. This is just how I think about it. I break hops into accent hops and blending hops, or like foundation, right? So foundation and accent. So Citra can do both. That's the thing with Citra. That's why it's Citra. That's why it's it's the number one craft beer hop in the world. Whereas Dulcita, you can't really if you put Dulcita in a beer, you're going to know Dulcita's in the beer. Crush is the opposite, where if you use Crush as your baseline, you're not going to maybe know it's in there, but it plays so well with everything else that it creates such a unique foundation where if you look at those other hops that are in that category, Simcoe does that, Mosaic does that, Citra can do that. None of those have that mango apricot profile that Crush does with the same dank cannabis notes. So if you make a hop, if you make an IPA where 50% of your hop bill is something like Crush, right? And then you do 30% or 30 to 50% Centennial. The Centennial is so unique, it's so different. It's super floral. Centennial is very good, unique high note. Oh yeah, that's killer West Coast IPA recipe. It's Crush Centennial. It's shove some Simcoe on the hot side, slow clap, 10 out of 10.
That sounds dope. Yep.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Centennial is just goated for that. I mean, how can you go wrong with Centennial for a Westie? It's just Bell's Too Hot. It's perfect. It's absolutely...
I was about to say, do you know how much of the Centennial market that one beer takes?
Whoa, this is turned off. No, I do not know.
If not for that one brand, Centennial probably would not have stuck around for as long as it did. To my point about agronomics, if not for that beer, that hop probably would not have lived as long as it has.
No shit. Well, I mean, Bell's Too Hot is one of the only beers that when we were talking earlier about going to the supermarket, I would go to Wegmans in Buffalo and I would get 6 or 12 packs of the shorties of I haven't done it for a while, so I might actually do it tomorrow. If Bell's Too Hot, because it's just a no, like what Nick from Slate calls a no thinky beer. You just grab that shit, you have to worry about it. You've had it a million times.
That's that one is a sure thing every fucking time.
Every time. Yeah,
I'm getting it tomorrow.
And that's the thing. It's if the flavor is there, that variety, the flavor is there. Flavor is incredible, right? But from the farmer's perspective, it's compared to other varieties that are out there. It doesn't hold up, right? As a dollar per acreage, is this worth the amount of could we make something more efficient? I guess. And the demand just from that one, because it's a huge brand. Bell's is a gigantic brewery. That one brand is really driving that variety to have longevity.
Yeah,
which is such an interesting feature of the hop industry, in that yes, it's really only got one market, which is beer. Hops are not used anywhere else at scale, and it's kind of treated like a commodity, but there's so many different versions of it with kind of very niche, it can be very personalized. It's not as functional. Soybeans are very functional, right? It's going into cow feed, whatever. We just need this much protein. Whereas hops, it's we want this terroir So it's like a commodity that's also like wine, grapes, or coffee. It's one of the most interesting crop like business interactions that is out there. It's kind of incredible.
You're right. I learned this week. So I got a bunch of I got an espresso machine over the summer last year. So I've been like really dialing that in. It's probably the greatest thing that's ever happened to my life. I love it more than anything. And I got this. There's this brand. Well, it's a roaster / cafe in Atlanta and Savannah, Georgia, called Perk, PERC. And I got like advertise them on Instagram. They just like big bright colors or whatever. And I saw people. I'm in a whole bunch. Espresso subreddit, pour over subreddit, La Mazzocco sub. So I'm in like a whole bunch of them. And talk about like they had this deal where they had like 30% off. So I was like, all right, let me order a bunch. And I normally would just get chocolatey, nuttier stuff because it tends to go better with oat milk. We're oat milk latte people. And I got this one that I got a friend, Kyle, the one I was telling you about, Nate, in Ottawa, who's a Shasta Kyle. He's like a full coffee nerd. He's got his own cafe that he's about to open up out there near Tooth and Nail. And I posted it, and he was like, he knew the name he knew the farm, and there was like this variety of bean that started with O. It's like Bigon or something, whatever. It's got O's and B's and G's. It's from Colombia. And he knew it, and he was like, "Oh, it's like Citra." I'm like, "Oh, so it's a varietal of coffee." I'm like, "Okay." And the tasting notes for this coffee were cherry and marzipan. It's so accurate. I cannot believe how impeccable the coffee is, and then how well it goes. Because normally the fruity coffees don't really mesh well with any sort of milk drinks. Like they're better for like cold. It's perfect. And the next one the one I have right now, same company, is the tasty notes of pink starburst and cake frosting.
Oh, and my God.
It's almost as good as the cherry marzipan one, but it's like when you actually look at the nuances of the varietals, which is kind of just tying into what you're talking about, it's like it's not just a commodity, because those specific, and he was like, that specific variety of coffee bean can only be grown in very certain places, probably just like hops with a terroir, whether it's New Zealand or PNW or whatever it might be. And the flavor profile, now I'm like, oh, I didn't even like the chocolate nutty stuff. I'm like, I went way too hard on that. I need to move out, because normally, like I said, the fruity stuff doesn't work. So now I'm like, all I want to do is try all this new funky fun stuff and learn more about this. I didn't know that it was that. I just didn't know that was how it was. So it's really funny that you mentioned that, like that sometimes that him as a cafe owner is telling me like, oh no, that's that funky shit. Like I love that. Like, and that serves as a very specific purpose in certain drinks that they're doing. Just like hops aren't necessarily commodities. They do have to. You're like, I want this because I'm trying to create this end product. So I can't just have anything. I have to have this very specific thing. So it's
as a former tubby Mediterranean child, you said marzipan and I got distracted.
I love it. So, I had to Google what marzipan was. That's how
I love marzipan. Give me some marzipan.
Let's fucking go.
That's so funny. And so coffee is absolutely a great analogy, right? Like, so fair trade, like what does fair trade mean, right? It means that like the growers get like a stipulated return on their investment. It's not, there's basically like 3 big hop vendors globally. Mm-hmm. We are the only one that's grower owned and operated. And so we mandate that between 70 and 75% of all of our revenue has to go back to our farmers. Like when you buy hops from Yakima Chief, that money goes back in the dirt. Period. Like 75% of that money goes back in the dirt. Our board is the farmers, right? So when you talk about coffee, right? Fair trade coffee, the farmers get a cut, because so much of the coffee industry is, in the hop world, I would describe it as the alpha market. It's just like, I need this many pounds of this much alpha acid. What is the best price you can give me? You can't give me that price? Cool, I'm going somewhere else. And you're just like, it just race to the bottom.
Gotcha.
it's alpha per acre. That's the measure, right?
Mm.
And that's a very functional world where it's like you're talking about bittering capacity for macro beer. That's what you're talking about.
Gotcha.
And there's absolutely there's a great stand-up way of running that industry, and 99% of it absolutely is. But when you're a grower, and you are approached by a buyer and they say, "I'll give you $4 a pound for your Citra," and you're like, "But it costs me $6 a pound to grow," and they're like, "Well, that's the market."
Right.
You kind of go like, "Okay, well, I don't really have another option." But if you're part of like a co-op, right? If you're part of a collective growing group, the trade-off, right, is back in the 70s. This group of farmers basically said, like, why are we sending our product to some like broker for selling below the cost of production? We could just we could just buy a pelleting plant and hire a sales rep and sell it ourselves. And that was the genesis of the company, right? And then 20 years later, Pfizer is selling its first, we talked about CO2 extracts earlier. Pfizer sells its first CO2, its beer products program, which, fun fact, the company that makes all of our vaccines, Pfizer, used to have a beer products program, which is amazing.
What they make?
They made CO2 extract for macro beer. Yeah. So
that's hilarious.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
I mean,
so
I don't even know what to say.
I came from science, I came from academic science is my background. And so for me, knowing that YCH is the genesis of what the modern company has become was buying a quite advanced industrial manufacturing facility from the company that makes most of our medicine. That's incredible. That's such a huge reason for why I wanted to work for YCH is it's a research company. It's we make hops, we grow hops, we pelletize hops. There's an enormous research wing to this company that is so focused on generating value for brewers, but for growers. It's innovating what the growers can actually achieve with what they're doing, with what their time is worth, right? And that's phenomenal. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost my train. I'm going off on a tangent. Basically, the point is,
it's okay. Run with it.
The growers took on the risk, right? Because in a world where you're just your commodity product, it's how much can you charge for? How much will you pay me for my Citra? Cool, it's gone. It's it's delivered, it's paid for, it's gone. But in a world where you're a co-op, it's you're taking on the risk of does it sell in the first place? Because you're going to market with it. You're going direct, right? So, yeah, there's more risk in a really challenged market, but we've had such a robust reputation for quality that's been developed over, 3 generations of farmers at this point that market is not in question. We grow exceptional quality product, period. And so when our growers, years ago, took their product into market, it wasn't a hard sell, right? It's do you want to buy Yakima Chief hops? Oh, Yakima Chief, the best product out there? Yes, right? So if not for that exceptionally high quality standard, I think it would have been much more challenging to pursue that kind of business model. And so because of that risk they take on the sales side and the sales and processing side, there's a lot more money for reinvestment into processing, infrastructure, all those things that actually make this industry work.
Like new hop development, the HBC program and stuff like that.
Yes. And that's a great example of it. Yeah. Breeding and development.
It's the coolest thing. That's what changes the industry.
Oh man.
I mean, the other shit, I don't want to downplay the other stuff, but that's the thing that the front facing thing that people see from a company like Yakima is oh, they're innovating and they're spending fucking millions of dollars, I imagine.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Doing all the things that you described earlier, as far as testing a little small amount. Okay, cool. Now we can roll it out to a big amount. So, all of that is
Dude,
and the crossbreeding.
I've got something pretty. So this our head of breeding and development is His name is Dr. Ryan Christensen. He's a genius. And first time I met him, he's a geneticist. He went to school for plant genetics in Oregon, I think. I forget what school he went to, but plant genetics. And so when I first met him, I was like, oh my God, I have so many questions. And there's something that we're working, like this is now becoming kind of protocol, I want to say, in this world, which is if you can identify what plants become successful at scale, if you start figuring out which genes are common between those different plants, you can screen for those genes earlier in that breeding process, which can kind of like jump plants forward in the queue. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So if a plant, like, if you have 10 plants and they all reach commercialized breeding and they all have this one gene in common, to simplify it, one gene in common, when you're doing your first, like from seed breeding, you can look at those seeds and go like, well, these 3 out of 10 have this gene that's all found in the commercialized brand. We should pay extra attention to this. So it's called like high throughput genes, like high throughput screening. And
they're able to be replicated more and grow stronger or something to be produced mass market
to speed this breeding process along. To maybe run it faster, right? And there's quite a substantial like genetics arm to the sort of whole HPC breeding program at this point, which I wasn't aware of when I joined the company, and I guess I shouldn't have been surprised, but it's quite thorough and it's very cutting edge. It's pretty incredible.
Damn, yeah. I love to hear that. I imagine that level of innovation is literally the whole kind of point of everything moving forward. I do want to actually touch on, I don't know if it's like, I know sort of in that this last little stretch here, should we grab the next beer and then
we should.
I want to talk about the relationship with the growers and the farms and stuff like that, so that we can get a bit of an understanding of that. Should we do motel, right? And then
motel,
and then finish with the double. That sounds like a good plan.
We started with square wheels. We end with square wheels.
Look at that!
Fantastic.
Look at that.
Almost like we planned it that way.
Right? How square are those wheels? This is beautiful. Look at this. Not even one crispy tonight, which is
it's an all IPA night. I mean, like the focus is on hops, so it makes sense, right?
You know what?
I do love a nice like dry hop lager. I'll be honest. Like I really love a dry hop lager.
Oh, dude, you're talking to a couple of avid crispy heads here, here as well. We love our hops, but we're also big up on on lagers as well. But this just seemed this lineup is appropriate for tonight.
It really is. No, this was perfect. We have like a top 10 in Ontario and Quebec. We do like a podcast.
Yeah. You're from, what was that? I listened to that episode. Yeah.
It was like a couple weeks ago. And the one in Ontario, it was True History, which is a crispy brewery. They don't do any hoppy beers like that.
2 years ago, it was Godspeed.
Yep, exactly. So we are equal opportunity. We're either hopheads or we're give us a Luca. Fuck, let's go.
A Luca tap? Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't know if anything's better than a Luca tap, if I'm honest. This might be the greatest thing that humans ever invented.
I can't remember. Was Fine Balance was on that list, wasn't it?
It was absolutely.
Yeah, my boys. I love those guys. Are awesome. Those are awesome.
Yeah, we love them too.
G, Mitch is a G. Yeah, man. And it was so hard, like so difficult. Like I would say for both Quebec and Ontario, I feel like we say it every year, but it's getting more difficult, which means we're getting more and more breweries that are just absolutely dominating. That how are you supposed to nail it, narrow it down to a top 10 between us all? So it's a beautiful time. Once again, we're saying this in the very beginning, in Ontario and Quebec alone, just to speak to those two provinces. It was crazy. It was so difficult, and whatever we did was, we're always going to miss something. So always trying to now we're like, all right, well this year I need to have Fine Balance is one brewery I wanted to have more of because I didn't have enough. They still made it clearly in last year, but I wanted to have more of them because I think they're we call them like in what do we call them, Nate? Like quiet overachievers.
Yeah.
Where they're just dominating, you know, and even town. I didn't have enough town last year. I only had town sort of on the pods. So I need to drink more town because I think.
Well, you know what? This is a good episode. This is a timely episode for this.
It couldn't be more perfect. And this one here is Motel Royalty, and this beautiful, glorious beer. This one has
all Citra.
Oh, it's all Citra everything.
So this is like all the goat.
Oh, Citra Dino Boost on the hot side, then T90 in the dry hop. Boom.
Oh, I can't remember. This is the one he used.
Got that in you.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers, guys.
Like now, this is like a proper like murky haze right here.
I was about to say this is the murkiest one of the night.
Yeah.
I love like of all the major brewing hops that are out there.
Wow, this is
all Citra beers are actually phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's
this is the one that was canned last week that you went that specifically you went to pick. Okay, this was the beer the pod was kind of built around, to be honest.
Yeah. It's it's pretty awesome. I had such a fun experience. My first so like when you go to hop selection, there's like two there used to only be one tier of hop selection, right? There used to be just general selection, which was, you know, big dogs, right? It's like you need 5,000 pounds for your first variety. That's so much. Most people can't hit that, right? So like we used to only have that option. Then we opened up pod selection, which opened up to like everybody. Everybody can select Citra Simcoe Mosaic now. Amazing.
Oh, okay.
So that's all these breweries get to come out to selection that you guys were talking about earlier. Like everyone's coming to experience it is through probably the pod program, right? Which we're doing in Montreal now as well in the fall in October. But my first ever selection customer I ever sat in on, I had to cover for somebody else who was busy. And they were like, "Hey, can you cover for this customer? Can you help them out? You know what you're doing. Please help me." I'm like, "Cool." And we spent 45 minutes selecting their Citra, just their Citra.
Is that a long time?
That's a long time. Usually it takes 20 minutes.
Okay.
Because their flagship beer, like 80% of the production volume, is a all Citra IPA.
Gotcha.
Right. And when you get to that point where it's like your entire business is hinging on this flavor profile, you really start to notice how much variation there actually is within Citra, which is a hop that famously has almost no variation. It's really, really cool.
Okay. And I guess that variation comes from the lots, meaning where on the farm they are grown, or which farm they're from?
Which farm they're from, yeah.
Okay.
So you were asking about our relationship with our farmers, right?
Yes, so, please.
Yeah, like most of our, all of the farms we sell product from come from Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. I think in terms of acreage, Washington is number one, definitely in terms of acreage. I think maybe Idaho's number two in terms of acreage, I think, and then Oregon's number three, but it's pretty close.
Okay.
And obviously, like Idaho's north, Washington's middle, Oregon's south. And so you can imagine the sort of seasonality, amount of sunlight, and just kind of general climate differences are quite substantial.
Okay.
The thing with the Yakima Valley and then the Treasure Valley, I think in Treasure Valley, Willamette Valley, there's a whole bunch of valleys that we're talking about. They get water kind of year round from the mountains around there, like Mount Hood, Mount Adams, and Mount Rainier. So when you contrast that with the European crop, with like the European hop industry that has to rely overwhelmingly on precipitation, like rainwater, the U.S. hop crop can really rely on water year round, which is pretty remarkable. And if you've ever been to that part of the country, everyone thinks of Washington State as like Seattle. They think of Seattle. They think of, gigantic sequoia trees and rich, rainforest, mountain rainforest. But really, 2/3 of the state is desert. It's high altitude desert, and like sagebrush,
Never heard
like kind of scrubland desert. So it's hot. I was there, the first time I was there was in July, and it was 40 degrees at 6 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Hey.
bad.
I never would have thought
That's
that. about-
brutal.
Dude, I went for I tried to go for a walk. I felt like I felt like it was a Costco chicken. It was horrible.
Oh no.
It was
kinda
horrific.
hot.
It was so hot.
Fuck's sake.
So incredibly hot summers, but tons and tons of water availability, which is excellent. So for the purposes of growing hops, all three of those regions get excellent growing conditions. And I guess the difference is what are your pick times in terms of year and how much rain are you getting. So Oregon typically gets much more rain. Idaho gets less rain. Idaho picks a heck of a lot later because things mature later. Oregon picks a heck of a lot earlier because things mature earlier. So with all that in mind, we were talking about picking times earlier with respect to like Sabro and Simcoe and all these varieties. Just picking time alone, Idaho is going to be different than Washington. Washington is going to be different than Oregon, right? But then you take into account things like how much water it's getting, how much heat it's getting, how much sunlight it's getting, and you start to really snowball all the things that can cause variation within all the different lots, right? So this past year, like crop year 25, we had one of our newer, like very small farms from Oregon that just literally stole the show when it came to Citra. Like the quality from that farm was phenomenal. The oil was like, I had a Citra lot come across my table that was like 4 grams per 100 mil, which is nuts. And when we're talking about hop selection, there is way more variation than you'd think, even between a state, like just within Washington, right? There's the upper valley, there's the middle valley, there's the lower valley. Well, one of those gets more rain, one of those gets less rain. And depending on how sensitive the variety is, you can get variation just within one state. And then you can talk about going to another state, different farms within a state. And hop selection is a really interesting experience where you've been brewing with this ingredient your whole life that you've basically been just buying off the shelf, right? You've been buying a generic, whatever you're getting from your vendor, and selecting all of a sudden, you're adding that extra layer of control. You can imagine like Molson Coors owns the malting factory that makes their malt, right? Like they control the malt they use, they control where it's from, they control the rail yard, they control the yeast they use. And the thing with YCH that we opened up a couple of years ago is like, we lowered the threshold for that controlling one more ingredient in your process, right?
And that was for Citra Mosaic.
Citra Mosaic Simcoe.
Okay.
Yeah, which is the pod selection. Project
Why did
Open
you-
Door is the nickname.
Okay. And that was just to give maybe smaller brewers who don't have the volume to qualify for the larger selection, the opportunity to at least the bare basics that everybody needs at all times to give. That's very kind. It's very kind.
Well,
so anybody qualifies, right?
It was literally if you come to Yakima, anybody qualifies. If you come to Montreal, there's like a 10 carton minimum, which is not that substantial. That's quite modest.
So most breweries would probably
if they're using those 3 varieties in a major brand, they're going to hit that threshold. Is typically that
so
idea.
you're going over and above to make sure that most people qualify for that. Because obviously you're a business too, right? And you can't be doing it for literally everybody who has 2 boxes a year or some bullshit. Like it's
you joke.
I'm joking, but yeah.
I did have a customer. I had a customer come to Yakima. I'm so proud of these guys, and they're a new brewery. They were so excited about coming to hop selection. This is like a dream they've had, right? And they're a new brand, and they're like developing their IPA, and they're like, you know what? We're new. We're going to start on the right foot. We're coming to hop selection. And I was like, awesome. How much are you going to select? And they're like, 3 cartons. Like, awesome. Perfect. The whole time they were there, they were like, oh, I don't know. Like, we're the smallest customer here, aren't we? And I was like, yes, you are. And you're starting on the right foot. You are focused 100% on making the best thing you can make, right? And, we sent them on, they met all the farmers they picked from. They went to go see all of our facility, like everything, right? But sorry, to your question, like,
that's cute. I like that.
The challenge was the logistics of it, frankly. Like, if you can imagine, you have, a 5,000 pound production run of T90 pellets. The challenge before was, well, you needed someone to like step in and go, that one's mine, right? But once we kind of developed all the systems on the back end, we were able to go, okay, well, hold on now. We can like set aside maybe 5 of these that are like big runs that look really, really good, and have, hundreds of smaller customers come and just like pick from those 5 or 6, right? So like pre-screen them, go, these ones look really good, cool. Give everyone an option, like democratize it, right? And it's resulted in just so many people having access to like an incredible leg up in terms of quality that just it was unattainable in prior years, which is incredible. Yeah, and to see how it works like on the back end it's a Herculean effort that is put into it. It's incredible. We had I think 92, I think over 80. I think it was almost 90 breweries select in one day in Yakima this year, all in one building. Like, you imagine like 92, different customers coming and selecting stuff. Like, right. It was it's a huge party. It's great.
Fuck, it's the vibe, dude. That's so sick. I just like the inclusiveness, I guess, and like making a smaller brewery feel valued, even if monetarily they're not impactful to the business. They're still valued because at the end of the day, you guys are here for beer, and there's not really any other customers aside from beer. So whether they're buying 3 cartons a year or 100,000 cartons a year, you're giving people a way to come in and sort of, feel like, it's got to be, from what I hear, it's so exciting. Like, and just, from all the people that Nate and I talk to on the pod, and just like, it's that's why I'm so keen to just see it. Like, I've been to Seattle, but I haven't been to Yakima. So I just want to see
guys.
That. Yeah.
Guys.
And just like be there for the parties. I heard about the parties are crazy. Yeah.
Keep the last, either keep the last week of August open, or keep like the second or third week of September open, and we'll talk. We'll
keep in touch. All right.
Get yourself there, and I will tour you of the fields. It will be phenomenal.
Okay. I mean,
that
would be
period. You have the connection.
That's very intriguing.
Uncle Alex. Yeah, it's extraordinarily intriguing.
Uncle Alex.
Uncle Alex is what we're calling you now. God,
yes,
Big
sir.
Doug. Yeah,
people do call me Selection Dad because I do make sure people get home on time. That actually is true. One of my first.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah.
Selection Dad. Get the fuck out of here.
Not Daddy. That's important.
No, that's very different.
It's very different.
Very different.
I got a reputation for being the guy. Like, my rule, because selection is like 3 weeks, right? It's like 3 weeks of dinners and going out for drinks and stuff. So like it can be,
exhausting.
if you don't handle yourself. Yeah, I know. Oh, it's exhausting. I know.
No, yeah, sorry. I'm not trying to it's like, oh yeah, 3 weeks of parties. Like, dude, after like 3 nights, you're like, give me a break. But so you have to probably take care, otherwise you'll die.
Exactly. So my rule is no beers after 8 p.m., not 8 beers. Just keep in mind. And like, go to bed before midnight is the rule every night, right? For me, that I can run on that for weeks, right? And so because of that rule, I'm the guy that will take you to Taco Bell at 11:45 p.m. and make sure everyone gets, like, I'll DD for everybody, right? And so I got the reputation for being Selection Dad is what the nickname I got. Which I wear with pride. I make sure people get home on time, and that's okay. I'd rather be that.
Dad. That's hilarious.
Selection Dad. It's great.
Oh my god!
And a hat. You need a hat. You need a Yakima Chief branded hat.
I'm asking. Yeah,
I think that's beautiful.
You gotta get a YCH Selection Dad snapback.
Oh yes, dude. Like I need like yeah, I need like a dad, like a very like oversized dad T-shirt.
Or like a quarter zip, like a nice little dad, little, like Terry.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Or a puffer vest.
Or the puffer
Ooh.
vest, because it's early fall. Dude,
Yeah,
you're
man.
right.
Yes.
Over a quarter zip. Just a little
Mhm.
bit down, a little bit of thing, maybe
Okay.
a little colored, like a little polo
All right, that's
underneath.
too
Yeah.
that's too salesy. That's too McKinsey of me. I don't know. That's
Yeah, okay.
I don't
Well,
know.
it doesn't have to be YCH branded. Maybe it could be Patagonia, just to be.
All right, that's-
just to
Oh
be-
my God, you're reading my mind. I was just thinking that.
with the vertical lines and stuff. I just feel like the vest is everything, dude. The vest and some
I
nice
didn't
New
realize I was a
Balances.
vest guy until I started this job. It's great.
Oh, dude, hot people are vest people. Beer people are vest people. I find
They are. Yeah.
it's hilarious, and the quarter zips have become a thing with the kids. You guys seen that shit with the kids? The quarter zips.
I'm deep in the quarters.
Mhm.
I'll be
Yeah, you
honest.
deep in the.
Oh,
I never
that's a
fuck
problem.
with that. And then Dan, Nate, but my
Yeah,
girlfriend's
yeah.
cousin who works for, he's 27, and there's this whole thing. These young kids are doing like quarter zips and matcha, and they're trying to say no, like sweatsuits and coffee. So I was a little offended about the coffee thing. Relax, you fucking crazy people.
Oh my god!
But the quarters,
matcha.
yeah,
Good
the
lord.
matcha is overrated, and it's ruining the world's matcha thing because of the popularity. From what I understand, like it's actually fucking up the game for the matcha people in.
It's
Japan.
the commodity conversation
Yeah.
all over again.
It's
Absolutely.
back to that. They're fucking it up.
People should sign contracts for futures for matcha.
That's probably the best way to do it. Maybe we should put some stock options or something on that. But the quarter zips is nice because I feel like people who might be wearing hoodies or anything else that kind of looks a little not so classy, coming through wearing quarter zips, I'm like, all right, I like it.
Oh,
It's
dude,
nice.
I have a. Oh, hold on. Okay, give me 15 seconds. I'll be right back with a T-shirt that you guys have to see.
Oh, okay,
Oh yeah,
beautiful.
please show us.
Might be that selection, Dad. The whole man, the Yakima thing. It just, I'm so, it just. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever thought about it. I've thought about it a bunch of times. Just be like, oh, it'd be so sick. I
I have thought about it, yeah.
Now I'm editing all the videos myself for BAOS. I'm like, because everything felt like if I did it, then when's it going to get done? Now I'm like, well, if I do some shit, if we go somewhere, I can like fucking take care of it, and then we actually have the content and go out there.
Yeah, like it's an option. You can think about that.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. Like, I would really love to even just go out for like a weekend or 4 days or something like that, just to see what's going on. Like, from what I hear, we had Breakside a year ago. We had Ben from Breakside on the pod from Portland, and he was telling me, he's like, "Oh man, the front. This is why
I was fucking jealous that I missed that one. By the way,
yeah, I'm
because
so sorry.
I had
I gave you the beers, though.
I had a bit of Breakside when it's true. You did.
I gave you all the beers you gave me.
That redeemed you a little bit, and and that was
Thanks,
and I appreciated that. That was really good because I had a bit of Breakside when I went out to Portland, and it was fucking good.
But he was saying he's like 30 minutes drive from the hop fields, and so we're talking about Ben from Breakside in Portland.
That's the West Coast IPA brewery we're talking about. That's it. Breakside.
Oh, there you go.
That's the one.
They're exceptional. And he was like, oh, dude, we have like during September, he's like, come through because we have like 9 fresh hop beers, and me and Nate are both moist for fresh hop beers. That's like,
my God,
it's our thing. And he was like, oh, I drive 30 minutes to the hop yard, get the fresh, like literally just picked, and then drive them right back to the brewery.
Oh my God!
That might have been off the vine for 1 to 2 hours, and then they're just
Say
straight
less.
in the fucking fermenter. Or
okay, so guys, I want you to both just both brace yourself. Brace yourself for the information I'm about to deliver. Okay.
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 Take a deep breath. Emotionally center yourselves, and I'm going to drop some facts on you. So,
hit us.
Have you heard about Cryo Fresh yet?
I don't think so. Nate?
Oh my God. Holy Toledo. Okay.
Teabag me with some fucking.
Yeah.
Drop it
So
on
you guys
us.
love fresh hops. I love fresh hops. We all love fresh hops. So
Yeah.
The problem is Yakima is like 1,000 hours from Ontario. It's so far, right? And
it's very far.
BC brewers, they're spoiled. They can drive 20 minutes across the border. They can get their fresh hops and come right back home, right?
Yeah, shut up.
So
I hate them.
us at YCH, we said, all these people, they don't have the option to brew fresh hop beers. It's devastating. So you're obviously familiar with cryo hops, right? Like we use liquid nitrogen to pelletize hop pellets and create a concentrated product. So that system is essentially just a big pellet mill that feeds liquid nitrogen in the whole time, right? So it keeps the product frozen. So we started working on this 2 years ago, I think. What if we took undried hop cones, ran them through a blast chiller, right? Kind of similar to what you'd use for kind of industrial fruit freezing, and then ran those frozen, unkilled hop cones through the cryo system, right? So it's a pelletized fresh hop product.
Okay.
So you can now, and so we produce it, we shove it in a giant bulk freezer, and then we ship it on dry ice. It shows up at your brewery. It's still frozen. It still smells like fresh hops, and you can dry hop with it. And so I think Dominion City did one. They loved it.
So did they do that for?
What's that one called? It's called It's got the word bind in it, doesn't it?
Winding down the binds.
Yes.
Yes. That one had cryo pressure, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. All right.
And the first one I had was at CBC last year, and it was a Sierra Nevada Torpedo CryoFresh with Mosaic. And it literally tasted like you took a Mosaic cone, you just ripped it in half, and you smelled it. That's what that beer smelled like.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Phenomenal, right? So the thing with fresh hops, right? Like traditionally fresh hops, you need a hop back, or you need like to put it in bags in the kettle. And it's just like it's not easy to work with. It's not like it's not a T90 pellet. You can't just like throw it in the ferment.
Gotcha.
CryoFresh though, it's pelletized. It's like I was in the factory when they were making it, and it like when it's thawed, it has the texture of wasabi. Like it just completely breaks apart. So if you use it in the brewing process, like it integrates completely. You don't have to worry about like a bag to filter stuff out or whatever.
Like it melts, like dissolves.
Yeah. It's just like
because of the flash nitrogen.
Yeah, and that it's been run through a pellet mill, right? It's been completely ground up to bits. And so from a brewer's perspective, it's like, okay, now I can dry hop with fresh hops with no concerns for sanitation, which is phenomenal. And floating is another issue.
Of course.
But the second
so
thing
light,
is that we keep it in the freezer for you. Like if someone typically you have to pre-order it, and we keep a small amount for like one-off purchases. But we keep it in the freezer until July. So this is no brewer should do this. No, anyone listening to this podcast, don't do what I'm about to say. But give me a year-round Simcoe Fresh Hop Black IPA. It will not sell. It will do terribly financially. I will buy 100% of it. But it's possible now. Like you can have fresh, frozen, like fresh pelletized Simcoe from October until July year-round now. That's incredible.
Wow. So the breweries can get it fresh in whatever, October, keep it in their freezer and then use it there? Or you're saying that you guys have so much stuck?
We have such a large freezer capacity. We keep it in the freezer until they're ready to ship, and then they go ship the next one, and we go, cool.
So you can have fresh hop beer in April.
You got it.
That's a game changer.
Okay. It's so cool. It's pretty cool,
dude. I love that. Okay, that's
yep.
I feel like out here, like obviously we're sold because this is something that like we talked to. We were just talking there about Ben from Breakside having like 9+ fucking fresh hop beers. My boy, I got a friend in Vancouver who always messages me. We talk, we do some trades, and he's always like, oh, all these fresh hop beers. He's showing me pictures of all the stuff he's drinking. I'm like, there's like 1 or 2 out here. Like that could actually expand the sheer volume of fresh hop beers in Ontario, because there's Winding Down the Binds, there's Bind Hunter from Bellwoods, and there's Wellington did one this year, and I can't really think of anybody else who did it.
Kilter did one with Cryofresh. They really.
Oh, I
really
saw that. I saw that. Yes, that's right.
It was very, very good.
I need to get some more kilter, man.
I bet it was.
I should do an auto. That is probably one of the coolest things you've said in this last 3 hours. Like that is so sick, dude. Like that is
like, oh my god!
I lead with the. I save the good stuff. That's what it is.
Yeah, save it to the end. You have to.
You're speaking our language so hard. Okay, fellas, I'm going to suggest that we take one last bathroom break and then we get into this last beer and bring this thing.
I couldn't agree more. I've been holding that for a little bit. I appreciate it. We will be right back. And we are back.
And we're back.
And we are on, as Alex so succinctly... Oh, you want to say that again? I think I talked over you.
There we go. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm so... Yikes.
No, that was good. That was good. I'm glad you threw that in.
That was very 50 Shades of Grey. I like it.
Like that was better than either ours. I was like, and we're back.
Yeah, it was very sensual.
Very sultry.
Sultry.
Someone with their car on like maximum volume just
is going to be like
file a lawsuit. That's what.
And we hold no legal responsibility for anything that Alex does here tonight.
Thank you.
There you go. And we're going to bring it home, as Alex said, or I think Nate, maybe you said, we start with wheels, we end with.
No, that was Alex.
Alex said that. I don't want to
start with wheels, end with wheels.
I apologize, Alex, for misappropriating that. That was
share the wealth. It's all good.
That was irresponsible and disrespectful, and I apologize. But we're bringing this back up here now. I've actually never had this beer. I'm actually really excited.
Neither have I.
Double wheels.
I have this one actually.
You have? Of course you have, because you're a fucking.
I don't.
Oh, you haven't.
I don't think I have. This one's
okay. So this is a new one for all of us.
Oh wow!
It's a big one.
It's a big one. This is an 8%. Double IPA, and it has same as this is what Jeff said, same as square wheels but more.
But more. I always find these super interesting because like
Jeff.
Alcohol is a very good solvent. Like it's very good at stripping flavor out of hops. If you've ever brewed non-alc beers, that will be very obvious to you.
Okay.
So it's very cool seeing the difference between like a lower and a higher alcohol version of the same hop bill.
And that is a good point. It's always fun whenever breweries do this.
Oh, yeah.
I've never had them ever like side by side. I guess this is somewhat close because we had them 7 beers apart, but I kind of went a little bit hard with the pour there. But
this seems like an appropriate glass to bust out for this episode.
Oh, look with that double with that hops. Yeah, where's that from, Nate?
This is this is from a Vermont brand that I picked up on a trip there, like maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh no shit! What's the brand?
Yeah, it was just from like a random, just kind of like general store in Vermont. The brand is called New Duds.
Oh, like when you say a brand, not like a brewery, like a. I literally just mean like a general store that that just sells like random stuff called New Duds, and one of the things that they had was this can glass with hops all over it, which is fucking awesome. To be honest, it looks like this. I got these ones like Amazon. They sound like water glass, which are little can shaped glasses. So it kind of look. Is it like that, like 375 ml or something?
It is, yes.
Yeah,
but I'm going to try and see if it can focus on here. But like the little brand is called New Duds, and it's got like the shape of the Vermont state on it right there.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
I like it. Classy. Feels good to drink out of a fucking can, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or a glass shaped like a can.
So I mean, this
double wheels
immediately. The mosaic jumps out at me for this one.
Okay, what's the specific things there?
It just has like way more pungency. Like it is it has more of that. Like mosaic always has a little, in my opinion, always will have a little bit of like that kind of dank kind of onion garlic character, like a funk. Like
yes,
someone described it as a musk, which I don't know if I love that, but all right, I do agree with them. They're not wrong.
Right.
But like that flavor, it's in there, and it balances out the sweetness, especially when you're talking about high alcohol stuff, because like ethanol for the palate is quite sweet. The Mosaic definitely comes
This is
through
nice.
more for this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is really, really interesting. It's still quite citrus forward, but like it just has this really rich, like
Yeah.
like woody herbal character to it
Yeah.
on the nose.
That's so interesting.
And I do find that yeah, like you brought up the kind of like oniony garlic sort of thing. Like Mosaic can sometimes bring like an odd savory characteristic to it, like to a beer sometimes. Like, and it's exactly that onion garlic sort of thing. That like it's one of those things that you don't realize it's there until you do, and once you do, you kind of can't escape it.
Yeah, I had a really mixed opinion of Mosaic for a long time. Like at the first brewery I worked at, we really didn't use Mosaic, which was interesting. And that was like the hop vendor, like the hop supply we had at the time, the Mosaic we were getting, we just didn't have the information to pick what we wanted. That just wasn't available.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we were just kind of getting off the shelf, right? And at the time, the sort of like generic Mosaic was like so dank. This was like 2020, 2021, was like so onion garlic forward that I literally was like, I don't want to use Mosaic anymore.
Right.
So coming into working for YCH, my gut, like the preference I had developed over my career was like, I don't like Mosaic.
Okay.
And then I come into all these hop selections and I'm like, oh damn, some of the best hops I've smelled are Mosaic, right?
Interesting.
If I walk into a conversation where I'm talking to a brewery that uses like a lot of Mosaic and they're not selecting it, you are I don't want to be like too dramatic, but like you're playing with fire a little bit. Because it's so like whereas Citra is bred to be absolutely impervious to terroir, like it's so doesn't matter where it's grown, it's going to be like very, very tight.
Impervious to terroir is a great descriptor for Citra.
Yeah, that's
a really, really great descriptor for Citra.
Impervious to
that's why it's had success, right?
Yeah.
Mosaic, on the other hand, is like I don't want to say it's like too variable. It's not too variable, but like there's one note in it that if that note is turned to 10, you're overwhelmingly going to taste that.
That's the only thing you're going to taste.
Yeah, exactly. So the issue is like if you have 3 other hops in your beer, if you're like, okay, it's like 30% Mosaic, 30% Cascade, or something like not super assertive, like 30% something, and then you're kind of just buying Mosaic on the spot market, whatever, and you get a lot that's very, very pungent. It's the only thing you're going to taste, right?
Yeah.
So when you're using something like Mosaic in a core, like a consistent brand, right? Doing a hop selection of Mosaic is like, not only are you buying insurance against the variability that'll take it in a weird direction, but you're also giving yourself the opportunity to find what is, in my opinion, one of the best hops that's in the entire industry. Like Mosaic, when it's good, like good Mosaic is the best hop in the world. Period.
Interesting.
Bad Mosaic will ruin your beer.
Yeah.
Is my opinion, right?
It's fucking fascinating that one hop can go from such extremes to like super oniony and garlicky to also like super blueberry.
Yeah. Which
like that's fucking wild.
It's super cool. what it's so funny though, because like some brewers, when you're doing selection, will go like, we want dank mosaic, right? Okay. So like it's more of the unknown, like the variability when it's unknown is the risk, right?
Yeah.
The variability when it's known is kind of a feature, because you can like the extremes on both ends kind of can't be found anywhere else within the hop world. So like that extreme blueberry note, can't really find it anywhere else. That extreme kind of like pungent tropical cannabis, like onion garlic thing, there's really no other hop variety that does that like that in that way. So if you're not picking the lot you're using for your core brand, it can be on either side of that thing, right?
Oh, that could be insane variability,
right? But if you do have control over that, well, now we're dialing that right in, right?
Yeah.
And now it's so I never worked at a brewery that like had the opportunity to take advantage of this kind of stuff. And it is so fun to like, I like work. Obviously, I obviously like work for YCH, but like, for me, I kind of work for like hundreds of breweries in Ontario now, because it's like I get to be part of their ideation and recipe development program. Like in a very like kind of from the clouds, kind of looking outside, looking in kind of way. And what's the word I'm looking for? Like I'm through their eyes, I get to experience what we get to offer, and that's amazing. Like I get to see the difference that it makes, which is super, super cool.
Yeah, the fact you're able to hit notes that they're looking for, or do the selections to get that consistency in flagships, like someone like Town. It's sick. It's so cool that you're able to do that. So did we really get into the way that you worked with, or the way that you currently work with the farmers? So like, did we talk about that? Because I want to talk, the only real things I want to make sure we talk about that, and then the Quebec warehouse just a little bit more.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
So to sort of on that, this last sort of, to bring it home, the way that you work with farmers. So you mentioned something about a board, and farmers are kind of like co-op owners of the company. That's what I personally didn't really understand. I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah. So we have 14. So like a co-op. What is a co-op? So essentially the producers of the product own the production, the sales, and the logistics capacity of the company. That's the premise of the co-op, right? So back in the 70s or whatever, like the 70s, late 70s, a group of farmers came together and basically sort of pooled their resources and invested in things like shipping and processing and logistics. And that was the genesis of the company. So today, what that means is we have 14 like hop farmers that sell overwhelmingly or exclusively to YCH, to YCH, and they represent the board of the company. Like we are a company. The board of the company is those farmer grower owners. We do procure from, I think, just over 50 partner farms. So these are not grower owner farms, but they are partner farms that are held to the same quality control standards as the rest.
Gotcha.
So how do we relate back to those farms is a great question. So we have this program called Green Chief is the program. And that's kind of, it's got two main components. The first component is our quality control and quality assurance standards, which are pretty high. I have a kind of story that relates, but for me, it contextualizes this whole thing, and I'll get into that later. So the Green Chief standards, like, you have to hit a certain seed content for your, like, seed and stick content. Frankly, it's like cannabis. Like if you have too much seed and stem content, it devalues the lot. So you have to hit a certain number for that. You have to hit a certain, all these different specs across the board to be received and accepted as a lot.
Right.
And then the second part of that Green Chief program is we have a whole data science arm that farmers plug into to feed their field level information back to our data science team to then inform their decisions on the given day. So what does that mean? So, a farmer will go in the field. Hop plants are hermaphroditic. They can be male or female or both. And so males, you don't want males. Males generate pollen. Pollen will turn female plants into seed plants instead of hop cone plants. Kill all the males is what you want to do in a hop farm.
Same as weed.
So it's called roguing. It's called roguing is the process.
Same as cannabis, though. Like, you're not supposed to have the males either, right? Yeah.
There you go. They're very close.
They're cousins. Right? Yeah.
They're cousins. So the farmers can go out in the field. They have a little app on their phone, and they go they're geotagged. They can go there's a male, row 8, plant 6, male, and it's like a orbital strike from a strategy game on your computer. It marks it, and then a 17-year-old intern will come out the next day and rip the plant out, right? And that's one example of the functionality of this thing. But there's a whole program, all the different insecticides that are used are flagged in the system. All the different watering applications are flagged in the system. Where your fertilizers are used, how much moisture is in the soil is tracked regularly in this program. And so this just monstrous data science program that we've developed over many years generates value back to the farmers that are part of our partner program and our grower owners, right?
Okay.
So on the agronomy side, that's a huge part of what drives our whole sort of pre-picking, pre-processing quality assurance wing, right? And then sort of downstream of that, once hops are picked, so they've throughout harvest or throughout the growing season, they've been meeting all their targets. They look really, really good. We hit harvest, we start picking, they go to kilning, they've been kilned, then they get baled and they get received by us. At this point, they've been received as a finished good, right? We check moisture, and then we take bale cuts. We send that to sensory. So we have a whole sensory panel. These are people that live in Yakima full time. They're part of our full-time fulfillment and warehouse team. And we actually standardize these people. So we'll give them this is concentrated rose smell. And they smell it and they go, out of 10, what is that? They scale it out of 10. And then when we put a hop in front of them and this person says, that's a 10 for rose. Well, if they said the 100% rose was a 1 and they said this hop is a 10, that hop smells like roses, right? If they said the standardized hop was a 10 and they said the hop's a 10, okay, well, it's just very, very strong. We have this whole standardization process for the people. So we have this huge battery of tests we run on every lot we receive. It's thousands of these lots, right? All of that information goes back to the farmers, right? And that's just useful for them to have, period. But then we layer on the brewer feedback during selection. And that, again, goes back to the farmers. So they have all the sensory data for the lots they've produced and grown. But then they have the brewer feedback on, is this a hop I would actually use and what are its desirable qualities, right? And so you end up with this kind of incredible, exceptionally data-driven symbiosis between the global brewing community, because it really is global. This weird little town in the middle of Washington, the entire beer industry, the entire planet shows up at this weird town for 3 weeks. It's quite surreal. And so all these people are feeding information into our quality control program. right? And all of that information goes back to the farmers. And then the following year, any given farmer will go into their data set and go, cool, our early pick Citra was 75% rejected by brewers. Our late pick Citra was 90% selected. Maybe we pick more late Citra this year because it provided really good results for the end user, right? And that's the kind of quantitative version of this, where it's all kind of numerical, and this is all driven by kind of all stuff through a screen. But if you come to Yakima and you come to conferences where our growers are present, they are so excited to talk to brewers about what brewers are looking for and what excites them about the hops they're using and how it translates to what they're actually doing in their livelihoods. Like the hop industry is way upstream of the livelihoods of hundreds of thousands of people, which is all the brewers, right? All the people that run breweries in the world. This is their life's work, right? Like this is their business and their baby. And the brewers the hop growers want to know that they're providing something that generates kind of a terminal value for them, right? And they're very clued into it. They're constantly just. I'm pretty like Brad Carpenter is a great example. He's one of our kind of seminal grow owner farms, and he's kind of the lead of that farm. But he is front and center at every conference. He is talking to literally everybody, and he's saying, "What are you guys excited about? Like, what about the hop industry excites you guys?" And that's phenomenal to see from somebody that's so upstream of the end product.
That's sick, man. Wow, that's so like
I gave you such a long answer. I'm so sorry.
No. This is a long form.
No, that's good. That's good.
No,
Sure.
this is awesome. I love that, and I appreciate that insight on how it all works and the way that I'm sure that's probably news to a lot of people who maybe haven't been out there and haven't seen it and haven't spoken to a lot of people, which is exactly what we were trying to capture. And the last thing before we bring it home was all I wanted to see was like the Quebec warehouse. I imagine it was there before the tariff situation about a year ago. And that means, but essentially that for the Canadians who are listening, the Canadian breweries, that the things that they contract and all the, if there are any tariff things, which obviously is sort of, back and forth and kind of changes a lot, essentially don't have to worry at all because their product's already in the country and you can just be like, hey, I got this contract for this. Could you ship me this amount? And it's all blessed essentially.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So this was a huge undertaking last year, obviously in the spring. So a lot of it was just uncertainty, frankly. We weren't really sure where this was going to come down as far as final written language. In short, hops so any tariff that a Canadian brewer would pay on a hop would be put in place by the Canadian government, right? It would not be a U.S. government tariff. It would be a Canadian government tariff.
I see.
So there's kind of two parts of that.
Oh, because the Canadians are tariffing American products.
Right, exactly. It's not a U.S.
Yeah, it's not the U.S. side, it's the Canadian side, the import side. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So there's two parts of that. The first thing is there are Canadian hop growers. I'm never gonna deny that. I'm never gonna there are some exceptional hop growers in Canada. Hops do not grow at the same scale as they do here as they do in the U.S.
No,
right?
Of course not.
No,
of course not.
It's not even like it's hundreds of acres versus hundreds of thousands of acres.
Yeah.
So, putting a tariff on U.S. hops by the Canadian government would be like putting tariffs on bananas. Like it's simply a product that is not produced here at scale.
Right.
So like you'd literally be just if the Canadian government did that, they'd just be shooting like Canadian brewers in the foot.
Right.
More like sort of like the actual practical reality of it is hops are a USMCA compliant good. As it stands, under the current legal framework, there are no tariffs on U.S. grown hops, period.
Nice.
Beyond that, so we obviously have the warehouse in just south of Montreal in Brossard. So it's a 1.2 million pound capacity warehouse, managed by a phenomenal team, Tyler and Carol and Sunny, and these just incredibly hardworking people that make things happen every single day, and they're fantastic people, and I'm incredibly proud to work with them. So that warehouse, one of the challenges that we ran into was, as the U.S. started placing tariffs on other countries, we had in the past been simply importing hops from things like Europe or New Zealand into the U.S. and then distributing from there, which as soon as it enters the U.S., there's now a tariff applied. Basically, this year going forward, so like crop 26 and on, we're going to be just importing directly to the Montreal warehouse is the plan.
Amazing.
It's February, so we're in the logistics arm of that right now. So, but that's the intent, which would bypass any U.S. imposed tariffs as they kind of figure out whatever their United States wants to do as far as financial policy. So the warehouse has been pretty kind of big picture game changing. Obviously, if stuff's in the warehouse, there's going to be no tariffs. It's cleared customs, it's already in there. The warehouse has been pretty phenomenal. Like, one of the big challenges for a long time for YCH was only, this is like 6-7 years ago, right? Only the very large breweries could do business with us directly. Was the challenge. The GLBs, the Collective Arts, the Amsterdams, the Bellwoods, those kinds of breweries, right? Because of the border and the shipping and the customs and all that stuff. And since the warehouse has opened, there's the barrier to entry, just like the selection program, like the barriers are just gone. It's, I'm trying not to be, you can see in the background of my office, I've got a poster on the walls, 24-hour shipping from door to door in Ontario. And, you're getting access to, frankly, this kind of choice, the vendor of choice for hops globally, right? Don't judge me by what I'm saying, because obviously I'm going to say we're the best. Of course I'm going to say we're the best. Judge me by who actually chooses to do business with us. Yeah. And it's, not to use, not to use brands in Ontario as an example, but it's the collectives and the GLBs and the Amsterdams and the, even go globally. It's the, Sierra Nevadas and the Sapporos. It's the brands that lead with quality first, reliability second, and relationships third. That's the
and you're not even mentioning like some of the most haze forward breweries at the province, like
exactly,
and you're being modest on that on that front, which I appreciate. But you got collabs with some of the best haze breweries in Ontario, like Badlands, Third Moon.
Yeah,
like Willibald, like all of these places that brew some of the best hazies in Ontario have collabs with you all the fucking time.
I have a deep appreciation for. I love that you mentioned those guys too, because like they're just so fun to work with as well. Like, Troy at Badlands is part of our Forward program. So Forward is a market research. Exactly. Yeah. Forward is a market research and what's the word I'm looking for? Like a product market research program we do. Okay. So stuff that has not yet been made available for commercial use is first sent to Forward partners. So Troy at Badlands is one of those. And he's been a partner since the inception of the program. Just like incredibly forward thinking, incredibly like open to application of new hop products, which is phenomenal. And he will absolutely go out of his way for the most impactful, productive product he can get his hands on. 100%.
I believe that. 100%.
Absolutely.
So, wow, man.
Willibald, great example of that. Like their beer program, absolutely. Like they have a phenomenal beer program. Like Justin and oh my gosh, I don't talk to him as much, but formerly a Barn Cat. I'm
Matt.
myself. Matt, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Every brewer is named Matt. If you're ever not sure, just say Matt and you're probably not.
Yeah. For me, it was Scott for years. It was hilarious. Everyone was there, Scott.
Scott's
Matt,
a popular
Scott, Chris. You good?
Yeah. Matt and Chris. I actually did a video recently, and I got ChatGPT to look at all of our episode names and run the most popular beer names, and the number one was Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
to a crazy degree. Like it's absolutely insane how much. Chris was up there too.
Yeah. I mean, Willibald is a great example. Like Badlands and Willibald. Third Moon.
Counterpart.
Counterpart. John, I love working with John. John's the best.
Fine Balance.
Mitch.
Yeah.
I was going to say Mitch and Andrew.
Mitch at Fine Balance. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
All my friends.
Rob at AMF and Rob and Bill and Ryan at IMF. And I could go on, right? Like those, all of everyone I just mentioned. There's a reason they choose YCH.
Absolutely, there is. Absolutely.
And they chose YCH before we could even offer selection to everyone. Like they've been working with us since before the Montreal selection was available, since before Pod was available. It's been like it. I'm not going to quote like to quote Wolf of Wall Street, like "Judge me not by my victories, judge me not." But just that's the quote, right? Like, judge me by my victories. That's what I would say. And as a brewer, I would say like there's been a quite eye-opening experience for me joining the company and seeing the difference that it can make compared to what my predilections had been before I've been exposed to this whole world on the supplier side.
Gotcha. I love it. Dude, this is crazy. This has been such a fantastic conversation. I really appreciate, we really appreciate all of the insight and the way that you explained everything. It was just like, I feel like I ticked all the boxes, all the things that we want to cover tonight. And, we got 8 beers deep and
yes, sir.
all the different hop products and the way that it works up here, the way that you work with the farms, and we went on a billion tangents. It's
man,
I thrive on
we
tangents.
we covered a lot. This was a deep episode.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
I really appreciate you like willing to nerd out with us like so hard on this. And
I have a lower back tattoo. It's just as nerd out. It's like my whole thing. So
I love that. I love that.
Hold on. Let's not call it that.
Okay, sorry.
You lived up to your tat on that front, man.
Yes, thank you.
No, it's perfect. Go on.
No, I wear it with pride.
I respect it. I just feel like it's great for both, for the maybe people who aren't in the industry and just want to learn a bit more about hops, and for those in the industry, I'm sure you would have learned something here tonight as far as the way that all of this works. Yeah. So this has been awesome, man. Like, thank you for taking the time and being so thoughtful about the beer selection and everything that we were talking about. I think this couldn't have gone more perfect. But I know Nate and I, obviously we're gassed on this. This was sick, man. Like, we all got to nerd out about hops. You got to nerd out the most, but you were teaching us a lot, and we got to sort of indulge in that a little bit. And I really hope that people would take something from this. So thank you so much for and let's do this like every year or so. Like,
I would love to. Yeah, that sounds really, really cool. Yeah, no, I always appreciate talking to, like I said, I'm like fairly new-ish in Ontario, and like you guys and so many of the brewers I work with, like every time we have conversations, I learn something. And like, you guys have known a lot of people I work with, you've known them for 10 times longer than I have, right? So this has been great. I've learned a lot about even the people I know and work with. Like, this has been great. Thank you guys for awesome interview. Not interview, but like
It's like a
open
conversation,
format.
really, in the end.
Yeah. Like
Well,
super open format, casual, and just facilitating all this. Like, I love the
That's
platform.
awesome, and I'm really glad you got something out of it too.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Three bros just hanging out, nerding out about this shit. This is exactly what it's all about. Alex, you're a fucking legend. We'll wrap this up here. We'll finish up off air, but where can everybody find Yakima Chief online in real life, or where do people need to go?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. So
I could Google it too if we're not sure.
I mean, totally. It's exceptionally Googleable. But yeah, if you just go to like yakimachiefhops.com, you can fill out like a customer contact form, and that'll just send it straight to either my inbox or one of my colleagues' inbox, and we'll get back to you. Or alex.dmnds on Instagram is my Instagram handle. That's probably the easiest way, other than spelling my last name for my email address, which is more complicated. Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest way to get hold of me. Otherwise, OCBs, Master Brewers Association gatherings, that kind of stuff, I'll definitely see you there.
Not to mention selection in full.
Oh, hell yes, brother. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you'll definitely see me there 100%. But yeah, get a hold of me if you want to, or take advantage of experience the Yakima Chief promise, baby. That's what it is.
I love
didn't stand too close to the microphone, I promise.
No.
I refuse.
I'm rock solid. That was beautiful.
Right.
Brother, we'll finish up off air. Alex, thank you again for your time and for your insight here tonight. This was genuinely phenomenal. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the episode, smash the thumbs up, hit subscribe below, hit that notification bell. Nathaniel.
Ding.
So you know when the new drops. Follow us everywhere at BAOS Podcast, at Nathan Does Beer. Check out the long form audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars, not for Nathan and I, but God damn it, give it to us for Alex. See the 5s? He's throwing up the 5s. Give it for Alex. Give it for Yakima Chief Hops. Give it for fucking the HBC program. You know the vibes. And we will see you, lovely humans, in the next one. Peace out.
Cheers.